Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. Tonight we are talking about the sinking swamp of Hollywood that is pop culture. And yes, you are seeing it. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Both the Eclectic Goat and I are on at the same time. A precedent is being broken and the world itself may break because of it. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for our friends over on YouTube and on Twitter. Please tell your friends we're live so that I am not so depressed and drink myself to death during the stream. So, without further ado, let's roll in and... No, I actually had to delete that Christmas stream. Let's say hi to our friends and colleagues. He is my partner on this channel. He is my wingman. He once stopped me from carpet bombing Las Vegas because the meetup, dude. He is... Shield Wall of Dragons. Welcome back, my friend. No, Joker, you are not a consideration in that. How are you this week, Shield Wall?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Well, hey, you know it was a great stream if you had to delete it. So,
epic.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Let's see, we got the meetup coming up next week. We got a bunch of topics tonight. I think we got some good ones this week. We got some maybe good movies coming out, maybe not so good movies coming out, different changes in comics and things. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to get into. And we have you and the Eclectic Goat on the same stream. I don't know, is it cats and dogs sleeping together and is the world healing or is this the thing that's going to fracture the universe? Yep. And we'll have to call Loki to put it back together.
Oh Lord! It just we were doing okay, and immediately just like that. He is the scourge of Gotham, the nemesis of the Dark Knight. He is Joker Voice. Welcome back, my friend. How are you? I've been meaning to ask: is there a quesadilla night, or is that the same as taco night?
It's all included in taco night, which is Saturday. And I had to spend a little time in Arkham because I was in a bank running with but this will be a lot
like this, folks. Things like
a lot of fun, many topics to talk about. Don't you do it. And I may just sit back. I just got off work and just sip a little tea.
With your interesting mug, my friend, maybe we need to take a closer look at that.
That's right. At my merch store, which you can check on my channel, Wednesday night is overbooked.
Excellent product placement from our friend in Las Vegas. And Nas, I'm gonna have to use this right now because I don't want to lose this in the mix. I'm going to show up, and the only way you'll know it's me is if I tap you on the shoulder and say, Klaus Kinski. Like, whoa, fucking Nas, where are your pants? That's not my shoulder. And that'll be a good time for everyone, I think.
Nas, you're not wrong.
Stop tapping my foot, Nas. That's weird.
God help us all. So anyway, Joker, nice to have you with us again. Good product,
I know,
my friend. We always like that. His beard has been the subject of an ongoing MK Ultra probe for the last 67 years. He is Beard of Liberty. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Prepare to be probed.
Yeah.
You said it, not me.
That thing's getting to like Gandalf levels or Dumbledore levels of.
I have to stand up a little bit so I can.
Excellent.
Hey,
all right.
As long as the mouse likes it, it's fine.
That's quality.
Oh, she
friend.
loves it.
That is
what do they? You'll be able to dwarf max that dude soon.
Right?
It's like a new thing.
Or do you have is Squeaka hiding in there right now?
Oh well, I mean, what?
Continue growing it. The mouse needs a.
I just want to say, Hollywood is burning. We're going to talk about it. I'm here for it.
I just have visions
Right
of
on.
Sega
Let
fading.
me clarify. Not physically burning. That's tragic. I mean, proverbial burning.
Is
Well,
it
No,
No,
because
if
sometimes
all
it's literal
evacuate,
burning.
it's
That's
not a
true.
tragedy.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like the burning in your pants you get sometimes if you've worked out.
They have a shot for that. And if you are burning, you should get that.
Available in Hollywood if you need to get it.
Oh, God. He is the meme master of the interwebs, using his powers for good instead of evil, now down to a 25% of the time. He is Jacob Ironside. Welcome back, Jacob. Always good to have you with us, my friend. How are you tonight? And more importantly, have you brought the memes?
Yes, yes. And you know the being good, bad thing. Sometimes things just go bad.
It's true. he's not.
Roman, you can't be that upset because sometimes things go bad. Is how we got alcohol.
But also sometimes Jacob's
That's
memes
true.
are like, "Hey, this milk is bad," and everyone has to go, "Really?" And then they smell it. You know, like you got to smell it yourself to really know it's a bad milk. Because somebody will come in and go, "This milk is bad," and people will still be like,
Smell it.
"Oh, let me smell it."
Huh.
Yeah, and then you're like, "Woo,
It's
it really
funny.
is bad."
It's like a cheese milkshake. I immediately regret saying those words together. He is the man who knows all the things about all the things. He is the dad that should be on the barrel. Fuck my life. 73. He is the meticulous, metacular, metacular Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, that's a mouthful. It's a quadruple alliteration. How are you doing, my friend? It's good to see you.
You're doing pretty solid. You know, still fighting the Ennis of American Jersey for my money. So otherwise pretty good. And Shieldwall gave us a Naruto tie-in in the very first 2 minutes of the show. Naruto in the very first episode chugged spoiled milk. There we go.
On purpose.
I'm
Jeffrey
disappointed on
died.
so many
Yes,
levels now.
yes.
I can't.
With my brother
actually
Sammy not
articulate
here,
them all.
I will.
No,
be
Sammy.
hold up
Yes,
the roots by
someone,
myself.
Esther, someone needs to make up for that. Someone needs to make up for
dear
that.
God, give
Well,
me-
you know the question was going to be asked.
And
Oh,
Shieldwall's often the one who asked it, so I.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
exactly.
And last but not least, I have been avoiding her like she is the tax collector. She is not the mundane goat, nor the dogmatic goat. She is the eclectic
Other way
goat.
weird.
Finally, together with me on the
Other way,
show.
Beard.
Oh, she's been on the show
Yeah, point the other way.
almost
Beard.
as much as I have at this point. Goat, how
Hey,
are
it
you
was on my
doing? It's great to actually be here with you.
Yes, though the universe tried very hard to make sure that did not happen.
It did. It did. Can I share the pictures of yon goats?
Shh,
Is that
they're
allowed?
not goats, they're sheep.
You can call them whatever you want. I know what they look like. We're gonna have to do a poll on this. Because all right, folks. I'm gonna share this. What do you see? Sheep or goat? Sheep or goat?
Dire sheep.
And then there's a secondary.
They are
animal here.
sheep.
Oh, there it is.
Baby sheep.
And I am not going with the sheep construct. I don't believe it. I will not believe it.
So the
I
white
know.
one is the white one especially very distinctly has wool and
No,
not hair.
no.
Hello.
No.
Look,
I got.
now Roman and Mando and I are all on the same stream at the same time.
Yeah, I am usually I have been late to the Thursday streams because I also coach Little League soccer and so yeah on Thursdays I'm a little late now for at least until soccer season is
So
done.
What you really do is you shoot fire
So-
at these children, make them play, right?
So I
Of
actually
course.
intended to bring my scissors with me, but so 25 minutes before the stream was supposed to start, I have been waiting to drop lambs for over a week,
You will wield
decided to give birth to twins. So
Of course.
Yeah, not the you, man. The you. Different spelling.
yes,
Wow.
EWE.
Did
Oh,
you
I was gonna
say
say that gives a whole meaning
utes?
to you and me.
So the funny thing is that the only other female sheep to give birth so far also gave birth 20 minutes before I was supposed to be online. So apparently they are sitting around going, when would be the most inconvenient time possible
Actually,
for us to have a baby?
I believe they'd be saying it. When would be the most inconvenient? I'll stop immediately, and I regret
Don't do
doing
that
that.
again.
And I apologize to everyone in the chat and on the panel. So let's say hi to everyone out there. Goes without saying. I'm trying to entertain chat tonight. And I do a terrible job of this. You
forgot, man.
What did I? Oh, mother, Dick. She will tell you if this is the way. Books, games, or movies. She is armored up and ready to fight. She is Untamed Mando. She's not in prison or on fire. How are you, Mando?
I am doing well, although I got hit in the face 3 times with a soccer ball today. So,
Only 3?
Only 3. Wow, Jacob. I thought we were saving that for later in the stream, but that's fine. But yeah, so while I did not light anyone on fire, I did not end up in jail. There were no lions. There were small children that decided today was the day to practice kicking Mando in the face.
With flaming soccer balls.
With flaming soccer balls.
You wanted to light them on fire, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right, let's say
Come on, Mando, light them on fire.
To the chat here, our friends in the on chat. So we got Jana Banana. We love Jana. It's nice to have you with us. Thank you for being here. And I'm looking at Cannoli's next thing here, and it's a little disturbing because it was in response to a question that I had about the naked party bus, and then he responded with oils. So our good friend, looking forward to seeing Cannoli in Vegas here next week as well.
You should go back to his first. You should go back to his first comment. Said pretty soon I'll be able to hold most of you in my arms. But Roman, you better be prepared to get sore, buddy.
Well, actually, I just planned on riding on his back. You just have to grab onto the hair, and you're good. You just, if you can hang on for 8 seconds, there's actually a prize you get. It's pretty good. I'm always happy. I have no additional comment. Zach, I'm worried about your hip on that bus, Roman. Yes, it is the hip hop bus, as Nadia has been describing it, and I too am a little concerned. Thank you for being with us. Looking forward to meeting Zach and his shoulders next week. Jenna, Eraserhead, welcome. Good to have you with us. Oh, this is the Cannoli comment. Yes, I get sore. Oh my. Logical Spark, welcome. I made some Mexican meatloaf for dinner.
Wait, that's
so. Did you?
Oh, I thought that was
from real Mexicans. Yeah. So keep moving. Now this is something that would Beard of Liberty ever shave his beard and rock a Charlie Chaplin mustache? No, and I think for a myriad of reasons that would be a terrible idea. So no, we're gonna say no on that one.
When just stand on the street corner dressed as Charlie Chaplin, waving.
Famous painter had one of those.
When you were showing off the length of your beard, all I could think of was like Squeaka being like the Homer Simpson meme where he fades back into the bushes. Squeaka fading back into the beard.
I can see that.
There's a meme coming. There's a meme coming for that one.
Oh God. Frank Yately, welcome. And yes, you are on time tonight. He's one of the people who actually communicates with me on Facebook, which is no one else does. And I'm not over there very often. So I miss 90% of the comments that happen over there. And everybody's wondering what has happened to AJ. No one knows. AJ, I think he's actually hunting humans now. But everybody has.
Hey, wait. I got a theory. AJ disappears, and now we have the dire wolves, right?
Oh.
Oh,
You can't
Yeah.
not connect that now. You can't not.
He's definitely
connect
feeding those
that.
things human flesh.
AJ, I love AJ. He's doing. He's actually doing stand-up comedy. Is what AJ is doing. I know he's doing that for a good chunk of his time. So, without further ado, let's dive in here. And I know. So, Jacob, are the
memes.
the memes pre-show
They are.
memes
They're down.
or they're pre-show memes?
Pre-show.
Are they
Pre-show
within
memes.
the mix of the topics, or are they pre-show?
Yes, they're down there.
No,
No,
I know
they're
where
down
they
there. They're
are.
pre-show right there.
Everyone wants to know where the memes are. No one wants to know
Go
how
for
the
it.
memes are.
Pre-show
No, no.
memes.
Yes.
Go for it. Okay.
Roma, show us down there. By that I mean
Go
the
for it.
memes,
Do it.
not over your camera.
Oh, well, thank God you clarified. Masturbating is when you use toy Hulk hands and ravage the mix.
Now we know what beard looks like with no beard.
Terrifying, right?
Looks like Les
That
Luthor.
is
Right?
so disturbing. It's hard for me to even be able to hold that in. Oh.
And you chose to put him in the place of Ryan Reynolds with his ugly mask on.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Wow, this is ugly mask.
all right.
Oh, thanks, Goat.
All right, that's strange.
Wow.
That's accurate. Yes.
So that's what he'd look like with hair.
Yep.
Yeah. If I had hair. Yeah.
Staple
If
on.
old
Probably
Mason
that's
up
probably what he
top.
looked
That's
like
quality,
when
my
he was 12
friend.
years
That
old.
is good.
Mhm.
That
He
is
still
good.
had hair and he had a full beard at 12.
At 12. Yes.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Again,
Thank you.
again,
Thank
it
you
works.
for that.
I don't know how.
Thank you
I
for
don't
that.
know
It
how.
works.
totally
It
works.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Nope.
where you put it. It works. Thank you for that. That's using it for good. That's using it for good. Wow. It doesn't matter where you put it. It doesn't matter.
You go from good and now you can say
Right,
this is
that
evil.
oddly works. That again.
It does. It works.
That's weird.
It works.
That's if he had his beard transplanted to his head.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh,
It's our boy. It's our boy. What have you done to my boy? That looks really good.
It does.
it is very appropriate.
It is very appropriate. And again,
That's just
Yep.
on a regular day.
That's
Right.
Walking his dog with that look on his face.
See, no, that is Roman standard Master Chief look. Anytime
Yep,
somebody comes
that's
and asks him a
actually
question,
true. That's
Yeah, that was him coming
it's
out
like,
of any meeting.
it's like you better know the answer to the question you're about to ask because I'm going to tell you the other thing you
That-
don't want to hear.
That's Roman's 1700 on a Friday face, and he just came out.
Just came out of a meeting saying that.
you gotta work another 4 hours.
Yep.
They just scheduled 4 flights on a Saturday, and
Yep,
I'm like,
exactly. Yep, weekend duty,
You
and all that, the
motherfuckers.
whole thing.
It just works for everything.
that's amazing.
It works for everything.
I'm not even sure what to do with that. Look at Pippin doesn't look good, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
you
I was
just better
gonna
be
say
glad-
I was surprised that the dog did not also get meme changed.
Yeah, Roman, you're lucky the dog is not you.
I know, a little miniature Roman face on it.
What, cannoli, whenever I see a jar for good upsets me, and I smash them into fire.
As one should.
Not
Oh my
comes
God,
up with
that's
the most weird, but oddly specific, like stuff he just typed in the chat is insane.
Boom, boom.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
that
that's
one's gross.
Oh my
That's
God,
nasty.
that's great.
wow.
Jacob, I thought we were friends.
Wow.
I got nothing.
That dog kind of made me nauseous throughout the entire movie anyway, and that's
It
just
did.
gross.
It's not good. It's not a good animal.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
gross.
disgusting.
Oh man.
Is it actually
that
a
may be
dog
my
though?
favorite.
I thought it was like just some kind of mutated rat on steroids.
No, it's
I
a
think it's a
dog.
real live dog.
It's
Oh.
a real dog.
It's
Oh,
a Chihuahua.
I think
Oh
I think
my
a
God.
CGI dog would have been better.
Unlike we'll see in one of the articles we're going to cover, the super dog should have been a real dog instead of CGI. This is probably the opposite.
yeah, that looks retarded.
And
Yeah.
Superdog should have looked like an actual.
Now I have you streaming on my TV to watch and my phone for comments.
It's even
So
larger.
We're
now.
so
somewhere
sorry.
out there, Beard, this is about 3 feet high now. Neighbors are walking by the window. They're going, "What in the fuck is going on in there?" Wow, that's
Oh,
That's something.
Wow.
Why does your face work for everything, Roman?
I don't even know how I feel about this.
you look like you should be on like an '80s, like the cover of an '80s album.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who it
What's
looks
up,
like?
Blue
What's his
Blue
face from
Collar?
Miami Vice? He looks like what's his face from Miami
That's
Vice.
what I was thinking too. I'm like,
Ted
where's
Crockett.
Crockett?
Yeah.
Where's Crockett? Here's Jim. I think my son. Just when I thought Roman couldn't get any more weird. Good to see you out there, son. Oh, that's disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. That's freaking me out.
I knew you were behind it the
Oh
whole
my
time.
god, that's fucking
Wow.
perfect.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
Oh wow, that's
No,
that's
that's
really good.
great.
I think
You
that
know,
one might
we're gonna
work best
cancel
better.
every fucking movie we're doing right now,
I think
and I'm going
that
to kill that dog.
I think that one works better than any of the others so far. I mean, they were all great, but that one's greater.
That one's really good. That one's
I
really
mean,
good. Jamie's
it is
thing-
me, so that makes it is me. So
It
that-
works. It works.
Or
Wow.
maybe
Oof.
that guy's been impersonating the Joker the whole time.
You know,
We've never seen them in the same
I
place
mean,
at the
I
same
know.
Tim and I
time.
have never been seen in the same room at the same time. Just saying.
Oh wow, I'm a little sweaty now. Not gonna lie, because of that
Too many
montage.
jokes.
Thank you for that, Jacob.
Thank you.
Mrs. of the Empire will not thank you
Yep.
for that later. She's like, "Why are you so sweaty?" I'm like, "It was fucking Jacob's montage, sweetheart. I don't know what to tell you." So let's start this, and we're gonna go. We got a couple downers, and then the rest of it is.
Uppers.
Uppers.
I guess it depends on your mood. So,
You
but
put
I don't want to
cocaine?
not talk about these things because they're kind of for me they were big deals. One of them we flat out missed. The other one just happened, and Joker brought this up. Joker, did you or Matt? Matt brought this up because we just did the CBGB show. The Blondie drummer Clem Burke just died at 70. Clem was he was with the band since 74. One of the original members. He survived the stage fall at CBGB, only to be done in by cancer at age 70. And I don't know. If you're out there and you don't know who Blondie is, I don't know what to say to you.
Get a soul.
It's like so. And Clem also. This is a little bit interesting. He briefly drummed for the Ramones in 1987, and he did some other shit too. So he was kind of around. Worked with Bowie. Worked with Dylan. But this is, and again, 70 sounds old, but as you are approaching 70, it seems less old. And this is him last year, I'm sorry, in 23. He's still doing it, in 2023. So brother was still playing.
He's wearing a CBGB.
He's wearing a CBGB shirt.
Yeah.
So that's again sad loss for the drummer of Blondie. Clem Burke, and we didn't get to talk about this one, and I want to touch on it real quick. The loss of Val Kilmer, and this one hit, and there was like you knew this one was coming. Was the unfortunate part. Val, I'm not sharing the screen, so I'm a fucking moron. Val hadn't been well for a while, and we all knew that.
Years,
but when it finally comes, it's still. It doesn't really soften it a whole lot. And Val Kilmer was, in my opinion, an underutilized actor. He was in a lot of shit, but there was a lot more shit that I think he should have been in.
Well,
He was robbed of the Oscar of the Year of Tombstone for his portrayal of Doc Holliday. That is one of the best on-screen performances anyone will ever give.
He stole
Sam
that
Elliott.
movie.
He did. You can't think of that movie without thinking, I'm the Huckleberry.
It is
won an
literally
award
one
for
of the
almost
most.
any role he played.
It is
He's that
literally Tombstone, and his role is one of the most quotable roles I think ever in movie history.
Yeah.
No, Nos. No. There are not enough times for me to say no to this particular item. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't want to know.
Well, it's a good thing you don't actually live in a villa.
So, and also his portrayal
Undisclosed
of Jim Morrison in The Doors. They had recordings of him and Jim Morrison. The band couldn't tell, and that's an incredible feat. He immersed himself in the Jim Morrison role, and again, it's like there were so many things that I think he should have been in and wasn't. I think it is what it is.
Also, a side note. I believe I heard this right, that for Maverick, Tom Cruise said Val has to be in this film.
Yeah, and I think that I believe that Cruise is one of those guys. So, and the
by the way,
sending off of Iceman was an incredibly touching part of that movie. Same Eraserhead.
He was very much secondary, but his role in Heat was pretty amazing too. Like,
great film.
Holy shit!
Also,
again, and just under the radar on that one. I mean, everybody remembers De Niro and Pacino in that, but there was a whole.
I remember
great performances in that, and Val Kilmer was like the number 3 lead.
I remember Ashley Judd.
Oh, she was amazing as his wife.
And hot.
Her eyes were this fucking big. She looked like an anime character. It was remarkable.
The acting from De Niro and Pacino was wonderful in that, and they gave it the tension, but I really felt like he gave it a lot of the emotion, like
because he had
all of his issues. Well, and because they cared for him so desperately, even though he was such a mess up. I don't think it would have had the. I don't think it would have had. It might have had the intensity. It would have been another action movie, but I don't think it would have had the emotional intensity without him.
Val Kilmer was also, those who are Knight Rider fans, in the sequel series in 2007, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. He was the voice of Kit because the original guy was dead.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that. Look at again. Pulling that out of the ether and bringing it into the now. That's interesting.
And his greatest role, of course, is Mad Mardigan in Willow. How could anyone forget that? Stole the movie.
Mad
You're the greatest.
Yeah. And of course, they had to kill him off for the Willow series, and we can only thank God for that because that series was so fucking unwatchable that even Disney pulled it off of it.
Yeah,
their channel, so it doesn't exist anymore.
It was terrible.
Another movie.
Don't get me started on that. That's one of my more viewed videos on this channel was my review of that back when I used to do such things.
Yeah.
So we're going to touch on the current market really fast, and this I just find interesting. I will never see this fucking movie for a series of reasons. One, and not the least of which, I fucking hate Jack Black. I fucking hate him. I hate him almost as much as I hate The Fifth Element. All in one person. And I just want that noted here on the stream. Minecraft took over the box office, made $300 million worldwide.
Good.
And it's destroying, which isn't very fucking hard. Snow White made like $7 this weekend. $7. Women in the Yard, no one knows what the fuck it is. The Chosen, I didn't even know that's in theaters or why. A Working Man, which is the Jason Statham, every other Jason Statham movie you've ever seen movie, and then Minecraft. I guess good on them. Again, this is not something that I am particularly interested in because I hate Jack Black and I'm not a big fan of video game movies. But
I mean,
you gotta give him credit.
from what I've heard of it, it's not really a good representation of the game. They just they do the key jingling thing. We're like Flint and Steel and Steve and Enderman and people who know that go, oh my God, oh they said the thing. But otherwise, some people are like, I've heard two sides. It's stupid but stupid fun, so it's good for kids. But also, why are we feeding our kids stupid shit when we could actually be giving them good movies?
Yeah,
okay. I'm looking at.
Go ahead,
okay,
Joker.
I'm looking at the numbers right now.
The numbers, yes.
Yes, worldwide box office. This is as of this morning, so this would be yesterday's totals: 343,902,117.
Wow.
Good for movie theaters.
Yes, and that's true. Movie theaters are struggling. Why are they struggling? He asked.
because of movies like Snow White, which I'm looking at the numbers now. This movie is officially dead. It has a worldwide box office, $170 million, just north of that. That film is not. That film is not going to hit. That film will not hit $200 million worldwide. The box office. That is a $300 million loss.
Yeah, so they didn't. I mean, they didn't clear. Did they clear their funding?
Nope.
And they certainly didn't clear fucking advertising.
Nope.
So fuck them and fuck Rachel, the little fucking creature, because I would say 90% of that.
Okay, let me look at the
is her fault.
Right here. Okay,
that
so
is her fault.
We're looking at right now it says the production budget as it's stated by the numbers, which is a lie. $269.4 million. It will never clear.
That's a fucking lie. You're right. Because Disney has notoriously been fucking giving their public numbers as like 100 million below what the actual production.
Not even that. I mean, this is so the production. This is just what the stated budget is. Now we don't know, because they had to do reshoots multiple times. They had to send this back
out the butt.
They had to send this back out to they had to send this back out for visual effects more than once. And this film is done. It's absolutely done. This will probably go down as, if not one of the biggest box office flops of all time.
And good. And I can't say good enough. They need to pay for what they do. If they and that's a twofold thing. Disney makes a shitty movie, you pay for it. You allow your lead actor to go out and say retarded things, you pay for that. There used to be clauses where they could not say things that were going to cost the studio money. They need to bring that shit back. They need to. As studios, they need to.
It was called a morality clause, and actors could basically not get themselves in trouble. But with social media now, that may need to be revamped to what you can say on social media.
Well, supposedly,
oh my God, Flaccid Phoenix is there. Flaccid, I thought you were dead or in prison in another country.
He's alive?
I'm amazed. I know. What the fuck? This is terrifying. And yes, I can't. No, not. We know what the crystal. I know what that means. That's code. And no. So anyway, sorry. Flaccid distracted the fuck out of me. I didn't expect to see him. Ever.
Goat. You were saying?
Go ahead. Yes, please.
I have no idea at this point. Back to the Minecraft movie, however. For all the money it may be making, it currently has a 46 on Metacritic, a 47 from critics, and 85 from audience. And 85 for an audience score is really terrible on Rotten Tomatoes. And a 44% on Criticless. So everyone's watching it and everyone hates it.
Well, and regarding how much money it's making, I looked this up because I've heard something about this earlier, so I had to double check. It's got 3 people credited for story and 5 people credited for screenplay, which means it was reshoots.
Oh, Lord.
So
And
whatever budget they're putting out there is probably double what they're saying.
Oh, so I'm looking at it right now. It says the stated production budget is $150 million. There is no way in hell.
And it still looks that terrifying. Even at 150 million,
So
it looks terrifying.
To give an example of how much money they're blowing on this crap, if you take the Hoover Dam, convert how much it cost in the 30s to make to modern day, you could build the Hoover Dam for $940 million, right? And they're making movies that, if you total their flops together, cost that much. So Disney could have built a dam for the amount of money that they've blown on flopped movies and TV shows.
2024 at the box office, Disney lost about $1 billion.
Yeah,
that is too darn bad.
When I do hashtag the book is better, and I'm looking at budgets and like how much money movies and books made to compare them, I always figure the movies in which country the GDP, like how movies these days literally spend the GDP of entire small countries on movies that don't do well and aren't good.
Right. That's it, exactly.
And the only time we actually get like accurate numbers is if something is shot in the UK. Now, because of the very nice 25% film tax credits that the studio gets back, to receive that they have to disclose every single dollar that was spent. So we actually get a more accurate picture. That's why the sequel trilogy, when you actually find out that each film on production costs about $500 million.
Do we figure that Snow White costs somewhere around $350 million between advertising and reshoots? Minimum.
I'm guessing it's probably with production and global marketing, it's $450 to $500 million.
Well, remember they had to redo this in film entirely at least once.
Right.
Are they admitting to 350 between the two?
They will never admit to it.
The only way we'll know.
No, they're calling that without the reshoots.
Correct.
That's complete bullshit.
They never admit to the marketing budget anyway. But if we figure 350 million,
it's probably more.
Then you're looking at about a $700 million box office to make zero.
I mean,
yeah.
Less than zero, isn't it?
Well, we knew this film was going to fail over a year ago. I mean, that's why they're desperately trying to redo it with special effects and whatever. They can get the sort of kids to go watch this film. Leaving aside the ethnic casting issue, right?
There are 7 countries that have a GDP lower than they may have spent on this movie.
Did anyone ever think that Rachel Ziegler was better looking than Gal Gadot?
No.
Like that's part of the story of Snow White is the jealous queen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they broke the story. I'm not saying you should have to hire supermodels for every role or whatever, but this story is built around Snow White being phenomenally beautiful. You know what I mean? And Rachel Ziegler is decently attractive, but she's not better looking than Gal Gadot. I'll tell you that for sure.
So I do have to say, when they decided they were going to change the meaning of fair, And then it got real vague because, like, well, how can the evil queen, be good and fair morally if, I did find it sort of amusing to imagine a kingdom where everyone in the kingdom was so morally horrible that the evil queen was actually the fairest.
That's not good for Chicago. So apparently she's the
live in
queen
a
of
world
Chicago.
of moral relativism. So there are no absolutes where the evil queen is actually evil. She just misunderstood.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's the same thing. And Mando, I hate breaking up a can of worms to mention this. I know you're probably going to freak out, but you know what's happening, what they're doing to Narnia. The same thing in this film.
Yeah. We all know about Narnia.
I'm not talking about the Aslan thing. That's one thing. They're pulling the Christianity out of it, the morality out of it.
Then you have no story because that's what Narnia is.
I was going to say that is what Narnia is.
Yeah, Narnia is literally is basically the gospel story in kid version.
Yeah, and
the first one is
Aslan is literally Jesus.
The first one is the most blatant. If you took out the first book and like the 8th book, then I don't know. Maybe somehow you could.
But
the one where the world ends and everyone's like reborn and all that sort of stuff.
Well, no, that's technically the Book of Revelation.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If you took those out, the ones that are in the middle, you might be able to not make a recognizable biblical story.
I don't know. The horse and his boy have some blatant Christian messaging.
They're not neutralizing it. What they did with all these films. They're inserting a different psychocultural paradigm into this, into Narnia, in replace of Christianity. The same way they did with Snow White, where the queen wasn't evil or whatever. Now they're going to replace Christianity with what the director does in everything she does. Replaces it with feminist, left wing, blue hair, crazy.
Leave Narnia alone. Leave Narnia alone.
Yeah.
If they're making Aslan a woman, are they making the queen a man just so that they can do the feminism?
Probably trans.
Oh
no. You can't have the bad guy be trans.
Yeah.
Or bad queen in this case.
Gotcha.
Right. But are they going to leave the Turkish delight in? That's the real question.
Depends on whether or not Turkish Delight does not want their product associated with an evil queen.
With Narnia in particular, with C.S. Lewis, because I am a giant C.S. Lewis fan. Like, I literally have I have been working on a certificate to say that I am basically like a C.S. Lewis, like, not scholar, but like I forget the word that it's used, but basically, like, when it comes to, like,
aficionado.
Yes. Yeah, that. What?
Nothing.
Not stalker, sir. So like, this is like, C.S. Lewis is one of those authors that if I have not read all of his books, which I haven't, I'm on my way to reading all of his books, because he wrote many, 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 many more books than the Narnia trilogy. He wrote a Narnia book series. He wrote a space trilogy. People have no idea he did that. Like, leave his stuff alone. It's blatantly Christian themed. You don't like Christianity. C.S. Lewis is not the author to try and take the Christian symbolism out.
Let's hope that C.S. Lewis fans have taken the same stance as Tolkien fans did.
Most people, if you're a C.S. Lewis or a Tolkien fan, you're one or the other, because they were close friends in life.
Right.
That
was a great shot for her to freeze on.
Right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was quality.
But yeah, it's
the thing is that even if you're not a Christian, even if that's not your thing, like, there's music, there's classical music out there that was written as Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't go to church, it's still beautiful.
Right.
You can still admire it as beautiful music. There's absolutely no reason, even if you don't go to a Christian church, that you can't read the books of Narnia and enjoy them.
Well, let's say it this way, right? I am not a follower of any of the religions or beliefs of ancient or modern China. However, when I read Journey to the West, I don't want to take those elements out of that story. I want to read that story for what it is. It's the same thing for Tolkien's works or Lewis's works, or if you read about I was just reading about an author from South Africa of fantasy book. I haven't read it yet, but I was reading about it. Like when you read about these things, other cultures, you want to read about them to see how they explore them and all. And these I'm not going to do my political rant I always do when this happens. I'm gonna stop right there.
So, Mando, I was going to just pretend the movies weren't ever going to happen, but maybe you and I should get together and do the book is better for Narnia.
For sure. 100%.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
100%. I would love that.
I would sit through that movie for you.
There are two fun
I will do the
adaptations
same.
of Narnia, by the way.
Yes.
An animated and a live action from
Yes.
both of
The
these.
animated was actually kind of like some of the design work was really creepy, but it was still funny. The witch, the white witch was hilarious.
I want to see if I can find a shot from it. If I have it, so people can see what.
I don't think I've ever seen the
Yeah, the live actions. I grew up on the live action series. That was good.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'd seen the
liked it.
live action.
It wasn't Rankin and Bass
Peter and Mr. Thomas.
who did it, right? It's not them.
I don't think no, huh?
No.
I don't think so.
There are some books that if you're going to do movies, they really should just stay animated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
traumatizing as it may be, the animated Watership Down.
That was
That was
awesome.
horrifying. That scarred the fuck out of me as a child.
Truly awesome.
That was,
I mean, technically, the book could scar the fuck out of you as a child.
yeah, I never read it. I remember those staying home sick from school and Watership Down is on, and your life is just over after
That's
that.
what you want to watch.
You're
when you
never
have a
coming
fever.
back.
You never read the book?
Exactly.
No, I missed out a lot on books as a child. Yeah, I was raised by wolves, so therefore I missed out on a lot of things.
That's how you were sick home watching television.
And that's why you're watching Watership Down on the couch, eating your Swanson's TV dinner and wishing you were dead. So yes.
Yeah, the book is amazing.
I will probably never get to it. I literally have a stack over 2 feet high on my bed table of things that I have bought, which I have yet to read.
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, and Watership Down should cut the line because seriously, somebody asked me
I gotta
once.
stop buying shit. Is the problem?
No. When I say those are rookie numbers, if you're a bookie, you have bookshelves of books that you bought that you have not read and that are on your to read list, and then you go out and buy another book to read.
Wait.
I have.
Mando said bookie. Is Mando a bookie?
Sure.
You mean to add
She
to her
sets
list of
fires
felonies?
to things and
Yeah.
She's like, they better have my money.
I bet she bust kneecaps.
Yeah.
You know it.
I literally own more books than some small towns have in their libraries.
I'm
Yeah,
working
this is
on
what the
it.
Empire does as well, and
Yeah, I'm on this too.
This is
it's a freaking.
This is
nightmare. Do we have
after-
to ever leave.
this is after I have moved 23 times in the course of my life and literally gotten
Oh
rid of
my god!
thousands. I have literally gotten rid of thousands of books almost every time I move.
That's right, Nas.
So let's move on to a less good topic, and we'll stay brief
Roman?
on this. But
I got
Wait,
a-
was Narnia a good topic?
I got a
it's
screenshot
better
from
than our
the,
next topic.
from the
It is better than
animated,
our next
for
topic.
you.
Where did you put it?
I'm about to I'll share it.
Yeah, sure.
So it was from actually 1979. It's down there now.
There it is. Okay, got it. Ah,
Yes.
That's the Queen. I'm going to mute it and just flash through for a couple of scenes so you can see the animation.
oh my god, that is terrible.
I love it. It's one of my childhood things.
I
you
was
know?
going to say,
Oh my
it's-
god.
I love this.
Oh, that's. I'm glad I
It's
didn't
not
see
bad.
this. No, I like the live action Mr.
Okay,
Tumnus is
that-
the best thing ever.
oh, it's not
that
that
for a
bad.
split second
Oh.
with the scenery looked like a Monty
Oh.
Python skit for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Yeah.
You have
Holy
given
crap.
me Narnia
Okay,
forever.
That's a little weird.
I'll Aslan.
That,
think
it looks very much like 70s, almost between shows animation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Garden Gnome, I'm so angry. Wow.
I have to find
Yeah.
this now.
Yes, I highly recommend it.
For
It's
those
hilarious.
for those who might want a copy of it, just shoot
I
me
never
a
saw that
DM.
one.
I watched it before. It was
No,
great.
no, neither had I. Zoinks.
And if
So,
you want to see
again-
imagery from the BBC, the live action BBC one, let me know. I have that as well.
And that's the better one, but we need to move on. We got like 27
Yeah,
other topics to
that's
get to. And none of them are good. So this one, John Boyega calls Star Wars fans racist.
Again.
And the
Shocking.
funny part about
Again.
I
the
don't
funniest part
care.
about the story is
Don't care.
who gives a fuck?
He's an idiot.
But it's just, why are you still talking, Boyega? Why are you still talking?
You know what,
So
John
it's like-
Boyega? You know what, John Boyega? Go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm
why-
gonna have a really hot take. on
You're
this one.
racist, John Boyega.
All the shit we went through for
Goat's
him,
got a hot take. Goat's going for a hot take.
saying he should have been the lead. Sorry.
Well, except that the suggestion is that he was originally supposed to be one of the leads, and the reason that they didn't was because of China, and they took him off all the posters because of China.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
they
sounds
short-
very much
yeah.
like
So who,
sounds
Who's
very much
racist?
like the Chinese Star Wars fans
Yes.
do in fact sound kind of racist.
Well,
That's just
Well,
That's
Asia
because
in
China
general.
is racist.
This
They
is-
hate people that are not Chinese.
There's a
Right, but what
Chinese
I-
commercial. You guys need
What
to
I'm
hear
saying
this.
is that when he's talking about like a chunk of the Star Wars fans
Right.
are all about being elite and yada yada. He's correct. China.
There's a Chinese
That's an
commercial
excellent point, John. That's
that
true.
where they take a black guy, throw him in a washing machine, put in detergent, and wash him. He comes out looking Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
It airs on Chinese TV.
So this, like I said, I just want to throw this out because I found it irritating and irrelevant all at the same time. Because one, dude, you don't matter. No, you could never appear in another movie, and you
No,
probably
he's
won't.
irrelevant.
At least nothing that anybody cares about, because you are now damaged brand. This damages you. Statements like this do not get you movies. They get you on a list that says, "Ooh, that guy is problematic. We don't want him."
Well,
Really? Because Rachel Zegler keeps getting work.
Well, I mean,
He-
okay,
he-
so
I don't think she's going to get much. I think
Well,
whatever
I
she
mean-
has right now is pre-Snow White release.
So Goat, I agree with your statement. If he would have made this statement like 5 years ago, he would get.
That's not a bad point.
Well, remember,
He may
Snow
not have
White's
felt
been
like
on
he
the
could
shelf
make it
for a
5
long
years
time.
ago. Has he gotten
Well,
work since he was in Star
Oh,
Wars?
Don't.
a couple things.
the Warrior Queen, Warrior Queen.
Don't know what that is.
Well,
There's
and,
a-
and here's something with him. Like from the beginning, you're blaming the fans when it was the studio that you tricked everybody thinking that you were going to be the number one, and then shoved you to the back, made you this comic
Simp.
stupid
Simp.
buffoon.
Simp.
And
Buffoon.
in addition to that, like he went on record in an interview saying that he wanted to use his normal accent. He was basically told, "No, don't do that." So the people he should be mad at are the people who were running the studio,
Gee.
he should be mad at Disney.
Who could that be? Maybe Kathleen Kennedy and her forces female narrative.
Huh, that's a
Yes.
funny thing.
This would be my other question. We know the chunks he said because they were quoted by Entertainment Weekly,
Mhm.
an organization that might possibly occasionally take people out of context so that they
You
can
think?
get their very specific message through.
Yep.
So we don't really know that he didn't also say, "I'm really pissed off at the studio," because he said, "I'm really pissed off
Sure.
at the studio" in the past. He
Yep.
has made
Yeah.
he has not hid the fact that he's angry at the studio at all. So
Well-
they may have picked out the chunks
Well,
they
this
figured were going to
is-
get them the most reads.
Because they did it.
This is
dirty.
coming out specifically though because
him
of
dirty.
there's a movie or a something they're releasing. It's got to be some kind of it's a documentary, 2-part documentary. Number 1 on the call sheet, Black Leading Men, and part 2 is called Black Leading Women. So there's a documentary coming out. And that's why he's even speaking at all with anybody on film. Otherwise, this cat is not doing great as far as his work goes. Like I said, I don't know anything other than Star Wars, what this gentleman has done.
Is that maybe why he figures
so
he may figure he's got nothing to lose at this point?
Maybe.
Real quick,
maybe.
I'm not going to read through the entire article, but based on what Goat said, I said, all right, I'm going to look at the Entertainment Weekly article, and it starts off pretty quickly with, quote, "It's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something." And he went on to explain inherent problems with Star Wars films and fans making a big deal out of the incredibly small handful of black characters. So maybe a little bit out of context, but at least from the start of this article, maybe not. I'd like to see his full, like unedited sort of interview that they were quoting here.
Because I seem to remember nobody having a problem with Lando. No one had a problem.
That is his exact point. He said there was Lando and there was Samuel Jackson, and then all of a sudden, like, I couldn't have a leading role. Like, it was okay for us to be side characters, but not the leading role.
How is that?
And again, that was entirely due to the Chinese audience
and Kathleen Kennedy, because Ray was a self-insert.
Well, but my understanding is that he intended it was supposed to be the pair of them. They were supposed to be a pair of leads.
Yes.
So you were supposed to have a black man and a woman, and that was supposed to be there. But China
also
wouldn't have anything
Hollywood
to do with
the last few years.
Let me just be fair here, since I did quote him saying going against the fans, because we have said that he's made comments about Disney too. So let me quote this here. From the same Entertainment Weekly article, Boyega has previously criticized the franchise's handling of his character, who was initially positioned as a co-lead in Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, but subsequently had a less important role in The Rise of Skywalker. Quote, "What I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good." So credit where credit is due. He is calling out Disney too.
Yeah, he's
calling out Disney for legit reasons. He's calling Disney because he's ticked that they outright feminism of a black in them or whatever. You know what I mean?
I'll take what we can get with it. If anybody's willing to call it Disney, that's basically putting a nail in your career.
Yeah, I have to say that if I was promised a lead role, and then they came back and said, "Yeah, this country doesn't like you, so we're removing you from the posters. We're pushing your role back.
Okay. Well,
we're changing everything you do," I would be pretty pissed too.
He was not removed. His image was shrunk, and he was actually put under Ray, because in the original poster he has a more prominent place.
Have you seen the Captain America Chinese poster?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They literally cut him out and made a silhouette because he's black.
Yeah.
And then in the original Black Panther poster, he had to have his mask on because it wouldn't show his face.
Yeah, and so I'm just talking in general. I'm not talking about this case specifically. I'm saying if I were, I don't know, if we were in Saudi Arabia and they hated women and I was the lead of a movie and I had been promised the lead, and then they said, "Well, actually, we're going to cut you from the poster. We're going to tell everyone that we believe in representation, and then we're going to cut you from the poster." And shrink you down in this country and cut you from the poster completely in this country. And you have to wear a veil in this country so that no one's offended. I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Well, the bigger issue isn't just the poster; it's what they did to him in the story. What they did to his character.
Oh yeah, no, he became ridiculous and stupid.
Right, and the same thing they did to Rose Tico. Originally, her character was supposed to be one way, and they made her as ugly as they possibly could. If you've seen how she looks, not as that character, and there were a lot of Asian people that weren't happy with that either. They saw what she looked like out of character, and then they saw what she looked like in character, and it looked to them like Disney was purposely making her ugly, and then they made her like one of the dumbest characters in the whole.
That is very true.
Yeah, and so it just.
Disney offended everyone with that trilogy.
Exactly. It started out good, but then they screwed up the middle movie. Well, I won't say good. It started out like it looked like they had a plan,
Passable.
and then they totally
They had
screwed it up with the
it
middle
looked like
movie.
there was a plan, but then
Yeah, I have no idea why they got changed
third movie-
directors
right.
midstream.
But I will say this: I agree with
Theories
Smoker. I walked out of
why they
that first
did what they
movie,
did.
and people were saying, "Oh, it's pretty good." I was like, "That movie was trash. Bombers in space, get out of here." You know. And then they had the second.
that doesn't work. There's no fucking gravity.
Yeah, it was just the whole thing sucked. And
To be honest, though, most space movies get the whole gravity thing wrong. So
it just,
Gravity.
I don't know.
They
It
would
was
just-
the way that it was done.
Can't
Well-
do anything with.
Star Wars is a different place altogether, though.
And by the end of it, though, we
Space
had
works
horses
different
on
in
the
Star
outside
Wars.
of spaceships, and
Space works different in Star Wars. Okay, it's a different
Really,
place.
really, Zach's playing as the
it-
black version of Nos. Really,
it-
that's harsh.
it obviously works different because apparently there also can be fires in space, according to the Acolyte,
Right.
Well, that goes without saying.
with no
Um,
oxygen.
Yeah,
So
they
I
took a
did
bad
just
movie
throw
and they
out.
just made it worse and worse.
Made it worse. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I just threw out in the chat again for Jacob's GoFundMe. If you're not aware, he has to move, and that's expensive, and it sucks. And this was unexpected, so they need some help with that. So if you can, please click on that link, and if you got something you can give, please do so. And it's, I mean, Jacob. We all love Jacob. Jacob is a wonderful guy, and he's on with everyone. I mean, he's everywhere, and he's a good cat. That's the more important aspect of it. So if you can, again, please donate if you can. So
How's it going? I haven't been able to check it for a while.
It's up to
Is that-
over 5 the last time I checked.
Nice.
Last week we advertised it was like 2,500, and then so it's doubled.
So it's trekking, but that's still. I mean, it's if you've tried to move in the modern era, it's not easy.
Right.
The cost. It's not just the cost of the move. It's the cost of the, getting into the new place and all the shit that goes along with that. It ain't moving back in the 90s. Which is a
I am an expert at this point. I can tell you, moving sucks.
You are. I am not. You've moved far more times than I ever have. Than most people have, I think.
And Roman used to live on a ship that was constantly moving. That's saying something.
That wasn't my choice. So let's take a look at this one. This doesn't need to be super long either. So the new Superman trailer came out. The extended version of this. I don't know.
Okay, so go ahead. Everyone was up in arms about the suit originally. I think it still looks really good. I like the fact that the trunks are separate from everything. Like it's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Crypto never should have been in this movie. I cannot take anything seriously with a super dog running around. It's different in a comic book when it's in like comic form. It's in that page when you're trying to make it this realistic thing where you have a super dog that is both super smart to drag Superman to go get healed, but also jumping around on him, beating him up. Okay,
it is. This is what Pippin does to me.
He's smart to take him home, but not smart enough to figure out his master is hurt.
Well, no,
I liked the original one better. I didn't like this extended.
Okay, so the way this scene seems to be set up is that Crypto thinks Superman wants to play with him. So the question is, this is a comedy scene, right? So this is offsetting what just happened to Superman. So to judge this scene properly, we have to know what gave Superman that beatdown. Like how serious was it?
True.
Do we need an emotional uplift? Now, my problem with this is that's not Crypto. That doesn't look like Crypto. Okay, I'm a Superman, diehard Superman guy. I own everything, movies, TV shows. A lot, 100 Superman comics. Crypto looks nothing like that. Okay, and I know I'm being technical about this, but that's not Crypto, and that's my biggest upset about that part of that.
Hasn't Crypto had like
looks
3 or 4 different forms?
Right?
Crypto doesn't look like one of those long-haired dogs. He looks like a
Labrador,
like a lab.
Yeah, almost like a white lab.
Yeah.
I thought he'd had like a few different forms.
No.
Like he started out as a lab, but I
he
thought
looks like that, not like that. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
he could look
Crypto's
like
not even
other-
in comics anymore, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you haven't seen a Crypto in a long fucking time.
No, he was.
No, I mean, just in general, all of that aside, I think
Yes.
a super dog works better in print in a comic book.
Oh no,
far
it's one of
more
those
than
things.
it
We've talked
works.
about this many times on the show
Or a
before,
cartoon.
where
not
what they
live
do in the
action.
comic, Guy Gardner's hair, doesn't always translate over
Yes.
to real life very well. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Now,
This is one of
in
the
an
instances where I agree with
animated
you.
movie, if it was an animated movie, that
Animated,
could
it'd be
go,
fine. Animated, it would be
that's
fine.
far easier to buy into as a viewer than this, where they're trying to go with the realistic, but also still comedy and still also comic.
Well,
And
the other problem is the dog is completely CGI. I don't know why they
Yes.
couldn't have got a real dog,
Yeah.
like the dog from The Thing.
Yeah, man.
You know,
That was a
find
real
that
fucking
quality
dog.
of dog for the hundreds of millions they spent. I'm sure they could have found one somewhere.
I just,
Yeah, and-
I'm just for everyone to be for so much complaining off of 5 minutes that is taken out of context. I think a lot of folks just want this film to fail, and
Yes,
they
absolutely.
and they're just going to complain no matter what.
I don't want it to fail,
Yeah,
but there are aspects that I don't like that I'm seeing, and I can say
mean,
that.
and
I don't like the
Roman,
fucking suit. I hate
Roman,
the fucking suit.
Roman, I'm not saying you, but there is a lot of that out there.
No, I don't
Yes,
want this
I mean-
movie to fail. I want this movie to be good. But
Likewise.
I wish Gunn were giving me better things in the trailer that I could latch onto and go immediately. The Iron Man trailer, when that came out in 2008 or 2007,
The trailer
whenever
came out
that
in
trailer
2000.
came out,
Mhm.
that fucking trailer
Yes.
grabbed me immediately. And I was like, this is going to be a great fucking movie. This one, it's like, ooh, I hope he doesn't fuck it up. That's what I see. That's what I when I see
I
this
think
one.
Hollywood has lost the art of making good trailers too.
Well, I was going to say, like, they now outsource trailers to
putting
companies
too
that
much in the
don't
trailer.
actually know anything about the movie. They just sort of
Yep.
clip together trailers, and they don't do it well. Like, I prefer to kind of not watch trailers anymore because
Yeah,
they either
there's too
outright
much.
lie
Well,
about what's in
yeah.
the movie. They
I like that.
like tell you tell you the
sorry.
entire. Oh, I was going to say they tell you the entire movie. And the thing is, though, that there was one still taken back scene, like backstage, of him getting ready and putting his boots on.
Yes.
And the number of people that immediately said, like, the movie wasn't even done filming. And the number of people that were already saying, this movie's going to be crap. I hope it, dies and is buried. From one still where he's putting his shoes on.
Mhm.
It's
Well,
not
I mean,
even in
that
the
was-
movie.
that was something that I think that Joker, you and I kind of both agreed on even back then. It's like, this is not the greatest image to release for your first, like, hey, here's our new
No,
thing.
it is not.
But
Okay.
we weren't like shitting on this. We weren't shitting on it and
Roman.
like saying
No.
this is going to fail because of it.
Here's the thing that's converging that caused all this. So there's it's profitable to so movies started to really suck. They were terrible in since 2016 and on. When's the last time you saw a really good movie? You were like, man, that was a really good movie. Maybe Maverick, a couple of others that you can think of, but most of them have been middling
Infinity
or
War.
terrible garbage, right? One after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. They're dog shit. And then you've got people that, because of that, people started noticing that if they talk about it, because people are interested in it,
Well-
that it starts to get you views, right? So then negative stuff sells better than positive stuff. So then that drives and it feeds on itself.
Yeah,
so the chances of the movie
when there
being
were-
crap are high, and that therefore people can bag on it. And then when the movie does turn
When
out
there
to be
were-
crap, it goes back into it.
When there were all those bad movies, people built their channel on those bad movies, talking
The
about how
problem is-
bad and terrible they were.
The problem
And
is that
that's
the good
all they can
movies are
think about now.
Yeah, the good movies are failing because people are dissing them before they ever even come out. So people don't go see them. So they fail. So we complain Hollywood never tries anything new, and then Hollywood doesn't try anything new because we don't go see it.
But that's also because Hollywood hasn't been trying new stuff like they used to. But there's a lot of other reasons for that. There's no more DVD sales to boost them on the back end.
Nope.
If the movie does bad at the box office for whatever reason, it releases at the wrong time of the year. There's another competing movie that's better or more popular, and it's a good movie. Or they marketed it wrong, like John Carter from Mars. Disney totally screwed that movie. The movie was good, but the marketing was terrible. So then the movie didn't perform well. And if you don't have DVD sales like you used to in the 80s and 90s, you had VHS and DVD, to where you could have a movie like The Thing fail at the box office but become a cult classic overnight.
Now, another. I'm sorry, Shield.
No, I was pretty much done.
Okay, another thing that is not helping this film, it is in a stacked July.
Yes.
It is going against Fantastic Four and Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Do we really think those?
I don't
movies are
care
gonna be
about either of those
competition?
movies. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care about either of those.
Hold on.
I'll stop.
Okay, the dinosaur films are money in the makers overseas. These things generate a lot of the money, and where Superman is not getting a lot of positive buzz, with a few little things, the Silver Surf, and Pedro Pascal, there hasn't been a lot of negative press about the Fantastic Four. So this is going to be an interesting month because these are three blockbuster films that all have to do well. They all have to.
That's true. Who owns Jurassic Park now? Is that still Warner Brothers or Universal? I'm sorry,
Universal. Yeah.
Because this, and we talked about it before. If this movie doesn't do good, that's it for your DCU. Your franchise is done. You're not going to get any more movies.
There was a time when you could release 3 movies in the summer and all of them be blockbusters.
Right.
I remember that. 1982 was the year. The year of a gazillion good fucking movies.
Mm-hmm.
But we had so many years like that where you would go to the theater and that same fucking movie is playing there for fucking 3 months, and the theater is full.
What happened with COVID is people stopped going to movies.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to go there.
It's a combo, though, man. It's a combo. You had the stupid lockdown bullshit, which they did to everyone, which drove a part of the audience away, but it also killed the rest of the audience that was still going for ho-hum movies. You give people movies that are good, they will go to the fucking movies. They still do it.
I disagree. These movies, even the successful movies, don't make as much as they did before COVID.
They don't make as much. I agree with that. But
there's a
Maverick
whole
made a ton
change.
of fucking money, and the theaters were packed. I went to that movie 3 fucking times, and the theater was packed every time I went to it.
Now there were some outliers based on this. There was Oppenheimer, but Barbie, which kind of got packaged together.
Mm-hmm.
So both of them cleared $1 billion. Both of them cleared $1 billion in the same year, pretty much playing at the same time. That's an anomaly nowadays. But I mean, you had when Marvel was at its peak, it was literally like billion dollar film. Then Endgame happened, and then everything else happened. But a lot of what COVID also did, because everyone is stuck at home and social media, folks started seeing these celebrities for kind of who they really are, and it turned a lot of folks off.
That may be true, Joker. I don't disagree. But America had a culture since like the 30s of going to the movies, getting your friends and going to the movies and all that. And that ended with COVID. Now you get together with your friends and watch on your 84-inch TV or play.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Right,
when you have an 80-inch television and surround sound speaker system in your living room,
and 4K and all that. Yeah.
And the other thing is that so I am almost an hour from the nearest movie theater, and during the wintertime, that's absolutely not going to happen. And a lot of the movies I actually wanted to see never came here. There are a couple movies out now that look really interesting. But we've got, 3 theaters full of Minecraft.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing.
which I will never see.
In the old days, if you missed a movie at the theater, that was it. You had to wait years for it to come out on DVD, VHS, or
Wait for it to
maybe
pop
it
up
came
on
out on TV.
HBO.
But now, if I see a movie, I'm just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But I'm like, you know what? If I just wait a month and a half, I can just watch it at home on streaming. I won't have to fight a crowd. I won't have to worry about, somebody going nuts in the theater, throwing popcorn at everyone, yelling chicken jockey. I don't have to drive down there. I don't have to look for parking. It's just so much less of a hassle. And I can see the same movie in a really good quality in the privacy of my home, where it's, the air conditioning is how I want it and all that. Now, going to the theater is a big experience, right? If it's done right, if it's done well, and you have a good time. But for middling movies or movies you're not sure about, it's just become easier.
Not worth it.
To stay home and watch it in a high quality. It used to be, if you remember your old crappy TV with the tube and everything, it was not a good viewing experience, even on VHS.
And I will say,
I was just going to say, but now it's changed. Now it's changed. It's you have a better viewing at home, and there's multiple ways you can view it. So I think that's really what changed it.
Unless you live in a town like me, where every casino has a movie theater in it, which these theaters do not fill up because they're part of the casino, and it pays for it, so it's no big deal. I can go to a film for $5 on a matinee.
We can't do that here,
right? Anywhere else, no way. So the ticket price
won't even buy you a soda now in a movie theater.
No, they've made it so if I'm taking my family to the movies, which I seldom do, but if I do, it's $100+ fucking dollars for all of us to go. For 4 of us.
There are like cinema cards at the cinema near me. So like if I see 2 movies a month, it pays for itself and everything else is gravy. But part of the reason people went to the cinema was for the social experience. It's like sitting in the theater and hearing
be around people.
and hearing on your left and like everyone cheering and there are a lot of scenes that we can remember where it's enhanced by everyone around you laughing together, cheering together, gasping together in horror movies. Going to a theater and being the only person sitting in the theater, you're paying a ton of money not only to have an experience that's about the same as if you stayed home, but it's just lonelier. Like you're just sitting in.
But to that point, they don't give you the blockbusters anymore. They simply don't. They don't exist. The summer blockbuster, and we can go back in the past, and we can think of. I'm an older gentleman, so I can speak to this point. The summer blockbuster. Well, it wasn't even a summer. You would have winter blockbusters. You'd have films that were big all the fucking year long.
Harry Potter.
Have a year full of fucking great movies. And there were always people going to the theater. That doesn't happen anymore. You get maybe, and this isn't a fucking stretch, 3 movies a year that might be in the blockbuster category. This movie we're looking at right now would be in that category in another time. Right now, you're hoping it does well. In another time, it would have immediately done well.
Here's the other thing about the past couple of years is who wants to pay all that money to watch their favorite franchise get shit on and be told that you're a bad person and that, that what you loved in the past is wrong and you need to do better. Nobody wants to pay that kind of money to sit there and watch their movie get destroyed.
But I don't think that's what James Gunn wants to do.
Oh no, I'm not talking about this movie. I'm talking about specifically why people have stopped going to the theater.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think a lot of the frustration with Gunn is not necessarily this film, but what's to come. Because I know the Supergirl film because he's using Tom King as a reference point. A lot of folks, the red flags have gone up.
Yes,
I think the frustration with Gunn is that he's not Zack Snyder. There are still enough people out there obsessed over the fact that he's not Zack Snyder. But
Thank God he's not.
Whether you like Zack Snyder or not, that attitude really like became contagious.
My girl.
Like I literally know people that will sit there and say, yeah, I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I liked the Suicide Squad. Yeah, I liked Peacemaker. But he's terrible and I hate him. And it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
I don't hate Gunn. I am worried about the movie, though. I am. I'm concerned
No. I'm
about
just saying
Gunn
that there are people that are doing that.
No, and I understand that. And it's hard. I mean, I don't hate for hate's sake. Hate based on something. Like Zack Snyder's movies. I like Zack Snyder. I think he did a lot of good work. I think his superhero movies were not, except for Watchmen, which I think is one of the best representations of a comic book ever on screen. But his other films, and I will say a guilty pleasure of mine though is the 17-hour version of Justice League. I will sit and watch that, and it's so much better than it's the theatrical version. But
my thing with
I don't mourn the loss of Zack Snyder as far as his DC universe for these heroes. I worry about Gunn because Gunn likes to have ensemble casts and have a lot of comedy in his movies.
Okay, and so if he's going a more comic book, I mean, truly a comic book approach to it, is that necessarily a bad thing?
Is it what the audience wants? Remember, everything comic book is not good, Joker. You know that as well as I do. It's good in comic books. It's not good on the big screen. Not always. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
It drives me crazy though, because there are so many people out there that are like, you know, it has to be true to the lore. It has to be true to the lore. It has to be true to the lore.
No,
and then the minute you give, and then
room.
you give them Gardner's haircut, and immediately they're like, oh no, I don't like that. It's like I want it true in the parts I want true. You know, everyone, and I'm not dissing Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman made a great Snape.
Right.
But no one complained about the fact that he was 25 years too old for the role.
Correct.
But I think casting is really
right,
terrible. I was going to say their casting may be terrible for the upcoming one, but I just find it weird that they're.
So
I don't think it's just that the movies got worse. I think it's that we got uglier.
And
we are pickier.
I
we
think
are
they
meaner.
made us uglier.
Well, they made us that
I don't
way.
think we got uglier.
I
got uglier because they made us uglier.
No, I disagree with that. They're not. They're not good movies.
Well, like all the superhero movies, I'm looking at Marvel specifically because that's the best example we have. Everything they did post Endgame, even Endgame, looking at it through a critical eye, is not a great movie. But everything post Endgame, with super limited exception, has been shit. And that really taints the viewer. They create a viewer that is now very skeptical of the movies that are getting put out. And then they get mad at the viewer for being skeptical about the movies they're putting out.
Well,
there's
Roman,
that.
Hold on, Matt.
So, Roman, it's deeper than that, though. I mean, you go back to that garbage remake of Battlestar Galactica from early 2000s, okay, that wokeified and deconstructed and crap all over the original. Okay, that was the first example of a woke deconstruction of something. And that's when they started doing this. So for decades, then we get the woke Star Trek Enterprise show. Then we get, on and on as they kept creeping that crap in, destroying our franchises, and now it just exploded like a bomb in 2015, 2016 when they destroyed Marvel. We had a couple of the movies there before they destroyed it. DC, they destroyed it. It's like if you're like in a room full of people throwing shots at you, you're going to start throwing the shots back. You know what I mean? And that's what they've been doing for 20 years now, deconstructing and destroying the things we enjoy. I just watched Wheel of Crime episode 7. Okay.
God, why are you doing that?
Well, because I'm reviewing it on another channel.
I know.
And like they had the women's circle going, hold the line with spears and swords, shields. Which, I mean, that's an affront to Robert Jordan wrote that battle, and they keep doing it. And what are we supposed to do? Just sit there and let them drive over us again and again and again and again? I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying you're gonna get punchy and start wanting to be overly critical of this stuff. And I've said this, I think, maybe a year or so ago. I noticed myself being overly critical. I coined the term woke derangement syndrome, or you're so expecting woke stuff that you're just deranged about it. You know what I mean? So we do have to watch ourselves on that. But when you see people who've done woke stuff before, which Gunn has done, and they go to a franchise like this, and you know, you're expecting to be punched, so you're punch drunk. You know what I mean? You're expecting it. So that's what the issue is. It's like it's not just any one film or TV show. We reviewed The Last of Us. Remember that? We did the same thing there. You know,
the Scissor family was born that day.
well, not even that. Remember what the second or third episode where they inserted like a whole gay soap opera storyline?
Yeah,
that was episode 3.
3,
and that was
3 and 6.
That was a lot. Episode 3 was a lot to endure, because it was just there was just so much. Good evening. My name is Bill. I don't always drink wine and shoot fungal zombies, but when I do, I like to have Apothic Rosé, the official pairing wine of the fungal zombie apocalypse. Well, I hate to drink and go shoot, but duty calls. But it's that.
Goat, and then Goat, you had a point you wanted to make.
I mean, that was like 10 seconds ago. I don't remember.
Okay, sorry.
No, it is more than that though, because yes, there are movies that suck, and I think that Matt is right in the sense that everyone's gotten to the point where they start swinging for movies that haven't actually done anything wrong yet, which is kind of what I was saying about the fact that people aren't watching movies that like are pretty decent movies. We find out after the fact, because they're so used to them being bad movies, or they've heard based on a trailer that it's a bad movie. But my favorite example, and I use The Drinker only because his numbers are so stable.
Yep. Despite
the criticism he gets for doing negative videos, he actually does, and I'm a geek, so I went back through and I counted 6 months worth of videos. He does about an equal number of positive videos, about a third
The
positive,
recommends.
a third
Recommends.
negative, and a third that are just kind of neutral.
Yeah.
His negative views are about 2 million views per video.
Mm-hmm.
His positive are maybe 1 million. They are half what they are that the negative views. So it's the whole if it bleeds it leads. We are obsessed with the things that are train wrecks.
But here's why his channel became popular.
Genetic.
Is because people walked out of movies and go, am I the only one that thinks that's a piece of garbage? And then they went to his channel and they're like, no, I'm not the only one that thought this was bad. And there's so many people out there now. A lot of it is, rubbernecking the train wreck kind of thing, or listening to people, it gets you in that doom scroll mind. But the how people got onto his channel and why it became so popular and things like these streams is that you went to a movie, you were like, I can't be the only one that thought that movie was complete dog shit. And then you go online and there's people saying, no, you're right. It did this, it had this wrong with it. And the other thing that's great about him and like Mahler and other guys is some of them have like more expanded knowledge of the genre, kind of like Matt. Why I like having Matt on this show so much is expanded knowledge of the genre, to where he can give you these little details or history or whatever and say, this is what it used to be like, or in the comics, it's this way. So you're not just like, oh, I didn't understand the consequence of them doing this in a movie, like replacing this character or race swapping them or gender swapping them, and how it affects the story either positively or negatively. But I think that's why his negative videos is because there's so many people out there that are of the same mindset. They're like, okay, I'm not crazy. That was bad. And
but if they were the same mindset, then they would also appreciate the movies that are good. There are people on his streams. I pretty much quit watching the live streams because people in the chat get angry when someone says a movie was good.
Well, okay, so this is a genetic thing, but people didn't know this about us as a species. Primates have a behavior, okay? if you can see it, like for example, chimps in the wild, when a leopard gets a chimp, they all like hunker up and watch to see what happens because a negative thing, because we want to learn from that. Like, like when you say, am I the only one who thinks this is wrong? That's a survival trait in modern form, saying like this is a danger, like it's triggering off of that same instinct. So when you go and do negative, like with the negative news, get the more watches, that's your survival instinct being repurposed for something else.
Yeah, I mean, that's why if it bleeds, it leads is a thing.
Yeah.
But my point is, we know that. We are capable of thought. We're not chimps. And when we... Roman's beard are making faces.
Just because you are instinctually inclined to behavior does not mean you can overwhelmingly stop the behavior.
Also, how many of those numbers are people hate watching him hate watch a movie? You know what I mean? Like,
if you look at his comments, they're about the same too. His comments, like positive or negative, decline seriously when he does something positive. But it's not just him. Like I said, I use him because his numbers are pretty stable. But there are a lot of channels that, like, they have negative stuff, and then they try and say, hey, this thing was actually pretty good. Or they start their channel. I mean, I don't mean to be bitchy about it, but I don't cover negative things on my channel. I cover things I love, that I miss, that I'm nostalgic for. And my channel goes nowhere. There were people that started channels well after I did that are based on negative stuff, and their subs have skyrocketed. And that's fine. I don't mind that. I am happy where I am. But we have definitely gotten to the point where we are looking for things to be bad.
I don't have to look very hard though, is the thing. I go through when we do our long form movie reviews, you learn to speak. Those movies are 98% of the time, unless they make me review The Fifth Element, movies that we really love and we want to talk about for we want to talk about a movie for 3 hours. But when we're doing our topical news, this is more recent stuff. Quite honestly, it is very hard to just throw stories up there and they're going to be like good Hollywood, because good Hollywood, and again, I find these stories, they're not hard to find about things that I want to like. It's like, oh, I think this is going to be okay. But then you see things like Vanessa Kirby confirms Fantastic Four's first steps, explores gender politics with Sue Storm.
Right, and everyone's going to focus on that, and nobody's going to focus on what was it called? The black bag.
They put it out there though. These people who are the actors in the films put the poison pill in the audience.
Okay. Okay. Let me stop with that really quick.
Because they're virtue signaling.
No. Okay. Wait up. Is that what she said, or is that what the studio told her to say?
It doesn't matter. It came out of her. So either way, I don't care. It makes me less inclined.
Is it the way the script is written?
Fantastic Four is.
Does that make me want to see the movie though? It doesn't. As soon as I know that about the movie, I'm less inclined to see the movie.
Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, like Captain America, comes from before Fahey supposedly fired all the woke writers.
Correct.
So all these Marvel movies are going to suck until those Avengers films come out.
Right.
And
you're not going to
even then, we've got a story about that coming up.
You're not going to see.
It's not even.
Okay. You're not going to see a noticeable change for like another 2 years.
That's a long time of failures.
Well, they're canceling a bunch of them, basically.
Okay, but go.
Oh, what I was trying to say is I don't expect the Fantastic Four to be good. I don't know why they can't seem to make a good Fantastic Four movie, but it just seems to be a nightmare.
Also,
well, they did make The Incredibles, but and I'm not saying that the movies haven't been bad. What I'm saying is everyone is focusing on the bad. We shouldn't be making videos and giving all this credit and giving all this attention to the bad movies. We should be saying, hey, here's this movie that's second in the ratings at the box office, and it's really good. We should be going to see that. because
haven't
what's
given
happening
me
is
that, though, Goat. I don't
Well,
even have that to go to. We have Minecraft, which some of you care about. I myself don't, but that's the best we have to offer as far as our film expectations as of right now. That's a pretty shallow pool.
everyone that I have talked to said the Black Bag was good. No one went to see it.
I've seen the trailer for Black Bag. I did think it looked interesting. I'm not going to go to the theaters to see it though. It's not a theater interesting movie to me. But they've created that environment as well. I don't think that movie looks bad though. I think that movie's great. I think Michael Fassbender is a horribly underutilized actor.
But nobody talked about it. That's what I'm saying. It's not just that no one went to the theater. It's that no one's going to watch it, period, because nobody talked about it because everyone was busy focusing on the movie that they hated, which I think was Snow White at the time. Sorry, Joker. Joker's trying to talk.
Joker's been there for like 45 minutes. Yes, Joker.
So to address Goat's point of why have they never made a good Fantastic Four films? Because some of the powers of like Mr. Fantastic and the Thing works great in animation and comic books. It does not translate to live action well.
Mm-hmm.
So even the two ones with Jessica Alba and everything, and the guy who played Reed, the CGI was so bad that it can take you out of it. It's like, okay, I know that.
To this day,
Are you saying that you weren't buying into the dance scene where he like twisted himself up and stared at the camera?
To this day, and I'm probably one of the 100 people who have seen it, the best Fantastic Four film is the Roger Corman movie. Yep.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I know of its existence.
Yeah.
The one he thought he was making, but the studio thought it was a joke.
I learned of that one thanks to the TV show Arrested Development.
So we do have to move because we still got some time, but we don't have tons of time. We still have a fair amount to get through. Now, I am curious about this. So they're making a Tales of the Underworld series. I liked Tales of the Jedi. I hated Tales of the Empire. This is going to be in the same animation style.
Look,
it's Ventress and what's his name? Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Okay, so this is
just don't care.
This is.
I don't need a background story on people.
These aren't background. These are other. You're not getting background on these.
No.
And they've hurt themselves on Star Wars for sure. Though.
This is okay. All you had to say was Asajj and Cad Bane. It tells you everything you need to know. These are Dave Filoni characters. Bottom line.
I liked the Clone Wars. I very much liked the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars, because Dave was under the supervision of George.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Rebels was his own thing. If you didn't like Rebels, that was solely Filoni.
Yeah, Rebels was not nearly as interesting as
I thought it was fine.
Favreau has control over him on Rebels, by the way.
So, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Favreau was in control of basically non-movie Star Wars until Kathleen Kennedy.
Big difference, by the way.
Destroyed everything,
So this is coming out. They're issuing it. It's going to come out on May 4th. It's probably not going to do well because nothing Star Wars does well anymore, especially on the Big D Plus. I'm probably going to watch that. I'm going to give that one a chance. I'm going to watch it.
Watching it.
No, see, Cad Bane was interesting, but then they offed him, like in what was it, the Mandalorian series or whatever,
which was not good. That was Boba Fett.
He can't go anywhere, so there's no anywhere his character can go. Asajj Ventress should have just been gone for a long time. They keep bringing her back when she doesn't need to be brought back. They're forcing that character into things. I just don't care. I really don't. I like the animation style because I did like Clone Wars. I just don't care about this. It doesn't have my attention.
No, and you're not alone. I mean,
I won't even sail the seas to watch this.
But the nice thing is these shorts are really freaking short, so I can sit through this thing for 15 minutes and get the shorts in. It's like, okay. And that's how, I watched Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire. Like I said, Tales of the Empire was fucking bad. It was terrible. But I wanted to watch it because I wanted to be able to speak about it intelligently.
See, and I hate that they're using that. I hate that you're using that nomenclature because the Tales series was a great series of books. The Tales from the
the comic books. Yeah.
I'm speaking of novels. I've got like Tales from Jabba's Palace and Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina right back here on my shelf. I mean, those are great stories, and they're just taking that nomenclature and just ruining things.
Now it's now this should tell you something. I mean, from at least from my perspective, the best thing that's come out of Lucasfilm since Disney Plus was the first series of Star Wars Visions, the anime.
I never watched those.
They're the very first one called The Duel is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, because these were folks who were not under the control of Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. They were telling stories that was basically Japanese culture using Star Wars as a lens.
So this is an interesting tie-in, speaking of Japanese culture. Predator, Killer of Killers. Now, it's on Hulu, which makes it only semi-accessible to me.
It's Disney.
But they're going to make a 3-part animated series, which is going to be it's a Viking, a samurai, and a World War. I think it's a World War II fighter pilot. Let me see if I can pull up the trailer here.
It's still Disney.
I mean, yes, it is Disney, but
it looks interesting. I got to admit, I think it looks interesting.
Yeah, Trachtenberg was the guy who did that the Portal short back in the day that kind of took everybody, like caught everybody off guard, like how good it was. So there's potential here. Again, like you said, Joker, it is Disney, so I'm not holding up all of my hopes. But
there was something, and there was something in that trailer that should also give you pause from the director of Prey. From the director of Prey.
Oh.
I didn't see Prey. I'd heard a lot of kind of mixed on Prey.
It was not good.
So I never saw it because I just didn't care. But this one, I'm if I can, and the problem is, of course, it's on fucking Hulu, which I do not have. But I think it looks interesting. It may be dreadful, but it's probably not going to be long enough for me to have devoted enough time of my life that I'm going to be really upset about it.
Okay, never mind. I take everything I just said back because I didn't watch Prey. I didn't look at it. It was directed by and at least partially written by Dan Trachtenberg. So never mind.
What else has that director done? I cannot. Nothing leaps to mind.
Not much. I actually know him first by being just like some young guy in a podcast years ago. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is okay.
Is he the Clover? Oh, he did. That's the one with John Goodman, right?
Yeah, that's
yes.
Actually, I like that movie. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay.
It would have been better if it didn't get branded Cloverfield. I think it would have been great because it had like a very Twilight Zone sort of feel to it.
Are you saying that guy directed this or he wrote it?
He directed, and he's one of 3 who wrote the Prey movie in 2022.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. Predator Killer Killers is listed as director and one of 2 writers for this Killer Killers.
I mean, you never know. This could wind up being halfway decent because it is animation. But
and like we've said many times, we don't go into these things hoping something's going to be bad. I want to be proven wrong. I want to be like somebody to show up and say, "Hey, this is God's gift to cinema," and I'll be okay, fine. I'm wrong.
I wandered across that this week and I was like, oh, that looks like it could be kind of cool. And animated features have a way of lending themselves. If it was a live thing that they were doing this with, it would probably be dreadful. But as an animated feature, it may actually be able to pull through better than if it were, like I said, live. I give it a little bit. I'm going to give this a chance.
If we're just going based off the trailer just by itself, it looked interesting to me because I saw this trailer like when I was scrolling through TikTok.
Right, exactly.
It looks interesting.
We'll see.
Here's the thing. So now we're going to move into Avengers territory. And it's a red flag for me, and maybe I'll be wrong, but I couldn't honestly, I'm going into these next Avengers movie not in a great place anyway, for a myriad of reasons. But now they put this red flag in here for me because they remember they did that giant cast chair thing where they put out like the 9,000 people are going to be
The stream of chairs.
Feige confirmed that was not complete. More Marvel heroes will appear in the film.
Okay, so I just don't know how they're going to cram them all in there without giving somebody more than 3 minutes of screen time.
That's
not have a 6-hour movie,
stuff.
Okay. Right? Now,
how many did it say? How many did it say they have?
It's a good amount. It's at least
however many fucking chairs that is.
So when I saw the trailer and they swept the chairs with the names, I kind of went through mentally like each character, who they are, remembered from the good movies, like who they were. And I was like, I started getting a little emotional, just like, man, if they could just pull this together and have these characters and not, make them doing dumb things and putting messages in there, and just have a good superhero movie with the actors and let them act like they know, I know they can, and give them a good script, that this could be like a return. I don't want to say return to form, but it could be actually a decent movie.
This has the potential to be like one of the best Marvel films out there
if they do it correctly. But
yes.
Again, we've been burned too many times. It's like getting burned by radiation. You just feel any little radioactivity that you come across. So I part of me at the time was like, and then I came to my senses, like, what am I thinking? But I don't know.
Okay,
well,
let me ask.
Go ahead, Joker. Go ahead.
Let me ask Mando this. Okay, if this has the potential to be such a great film, why has Disney Marvel resorted to bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom and hyping that the Russos are back?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like I think they're quote unquote trying to correct course. And when I say that it has the potential, I'm basing that off of just the talent. Like, of course, like without good writing and blah blah blah. But like if they actually like had good writing and had a good director, like it had, like with the talent pool they have, it has the potential to be a great film.
So I'm going to be a total hypocrite right off the bat. I was bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom looking like an old man wearing pajamas was the first thing that made me actively angry that Marvel has done. The rest of the time, I was just like, I don't really care. But when they brought him back as Dr. Doom, literally, he looked like an old man in green pajamas. I was just like, I'm out. That has become my meme for sellouts, is him like pulling that mask up.
Well, and Goat, I agree with you 100%. We've talked about this on the show before, why bringing RDJ back as Dr. Doom is a fucking terrible idea, and it does not bode well for what they are trying to accomplish. It is the biggest key jingle in fucking cinema history is what it is.
I just wish they could utilize the talent better.
But,
but all the bad movies they've made had the potential to be good movies.
Right.
By the content. But
Amanda,
they weren't.
They've exhausted all that talent with Endgame. I mean,
I know.
I mean, there is talk about bringing Evans back. Okay, why? Because Sam sucks. Okay.
Not only that, like these movies have flopped so hard for the past couple of years. There are a lot of other actors out there who can play some of these roles. They don't want to be associated with this garbage,
right?
And Dr. Doom is one of my favorite villains. And first of all, Marvel has gotten very bad about like the great villains are just like one and done, and that irritates me.
Yep.
Second of all, Robert Downey Jr. is He's not in great shape. I mean, everyone, when he went to veganism, everyone was like, oh my God, it looks like he's dying.
He's so sick.
You know, Doctor Doom is, armor or not, supposed to be a pretty built guy. And he's a guy people take seriously. He's not a sarcastic, quippy, quirky. And that's what Robert Downey Jr. does.
Yes.
Is sarcastic and quippy and quirky. And
That's why he
he's
did so well
just-
as Iron Man.
Well,
he was great as Iron Man, but everything about him is wrong for Doctor Doom.
Yep, I agree.
they'll just taskmaster him like they did in Black Widow, where this time it'll be
You won't actually be in the
jack
suit?
dude in the suit, and then when he takes the mask off, if it ever happens, they'll just superimpose his head over it, like they did the Taskmaster, and it's obviously a guy in the suit, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, look, it's got a woman's head.
How sad is it going to be that probably the best Doctor Doom that we've gotten on screen is Julian McMahon.
McMahon's a good actor, though. So don't, the role is crappy, but he's a good actor.
Well, I go back to Charmed and no, he's not. But
I got nothing on this because I don't remember. I don't remember the movie, and I didn't watch Charmed, so I can't help you in either one of these.
I thought that for what they gave him, he tried to do the best he could with that role.
But wait, again, we'll go back to
a little bit of time.
The classic Corman Doctor Doom when Joseph Culp played him, and I'll still take him over any succeeding actor. You know.
Do we want to talk about Tron Ares?
I mean,
is it going to suck as bad as the other Tron sequel?
And is the wife and is Marge going to come in and?
Yeah, we got a few minutes on it, I think. Just
we
overall,
we do have a lot of topics. We can some of these we can jettison pretty easy, but I didn't know if we wanted to do Tron Ares. I personally think it looks interesting. Now, what does that mean? Not a fucking thing. A lot of things can.
I've never seen Tron at all.
Oh, you haven't?
You've never seen the first one?
Ah,
Nope.
dude, you got to see the first one.
So that will be of zero interest to you then.
Now, let me say, visually it looks exciting. I'll grant that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have never seen the first. I haven't seen the first two.
Oh, what?
But
this will mean nothing to you.
Yeah.
Well, but I was going to say that I'm familiar enough with the concepts that the idea that they actually get out into the real world is kind of interesting to me.
So the Tron game, gets out into the world, and I've got actually a couple of stories with this one. So I thought, again, that first video, I did think it looked good. I think it visually looks really awesome. Now, again, in the modern era, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but given the nature of the effects for Tron, it could work for its advantage there, where most of the CGI in the modern era, actually my old man and I were talking about this thing, because we're talking about Jurassic Park. And he's like, Rome, I used to go to the theater to see those movies, and I really loved those. And I'm like, funny thing though, Pop, those movies came out 30 years ago, and visual effects have not only just stayed stagnant, they've actually gotten worse, which is an impressive feat. You gave us dinosaurs people thought were real in Jurassic Park, and now I can't watch a fucking superhero movie without just kind of random lights and shit being everywhere on the stage and it looking like there's nothing real about it. It does not say this is interesting or real, or what you're seeing connects with your brain, where the fucking dinosaurs did in a very visceral way. It's just kind of like, it's something shiny and looks fucking fake. That's modern stuff. But Jared Leto is the lead bad guy in this. And he floats
so he's going to play an over-the-top villain like he always does?
He'll probably just play Jared Leto, which is his best part.
Yeah. So, will he have a grill in like his Joker?
hey! Do not make that reference.
The original Tron movie, was tied to what was going on in science and culture. Scientists have talked about artificial intelligence and science fiction writers for decades, but was heating up in the real world concept of the idea of artificial intelligence. The computer networking were exploding and changing society. And the idea is in Tron that these computer programs control real life from inside by the way they're set up and all that. There's a lot of being explored in there and that sort of movie concepts and all that. And then the sequel just didn't touch any of that for me. And this
that's true.
And then this seems like okay. So remember my complaint about Alien versus Aliens? Now Alien was this phenomenal science fiction movie, horror movie, and all that, and Aliens was basically an action film, right? The sequel to Tron was just phenomenal science fiction film. The first sequel is just an action movie, and I will get you another action movie. I mean,
And
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
And
I can't say you're not right.
so this is me personally. I saw the second Tron film in theaters. I was on a date with a guy, and it was such a horrendous date that I vowed to never watch anything. That I vowed to never watch anything Tron ever again.
Have you not seen the first one?
Unless it had lions.
Oh, you got to watch the first.
The
one.
original-
I can't watch
movie.
anything Tron
It's
without.
so good. It is so good.
I can't.
Man.
It is a speculative science fiction film with action elements, so it doesn't
I
actually.
can't. I just
Right?
can't.
Yeah. It's cool. Just watch it.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Like I said,
interesting.
if this one is good, maybe. But we're back to the same
and the
dilemma
villain,
we've
the
been
main
talking
villain,
about
he
all
has
night.
in the real world, he has a badass '80s office with like a TV screen in his desk. That was like top tier stuff back then.
I have survived this long with never seeing Tron. I'm fine with never seeing
This
Tron.
is like the argument I have with people that have never seen Conan and refuse to watch it. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it's okay. I mean, if you don't want to see it, that's fine.
Right.
But
I can
Thunderbolts is
I can
gonna suck,
traumatize you worse
and-
than that.
Oh
Go for
God.
it.
I have never
go.
seen
Do
Die
it.
Hard.
to me, somehow that's that's pretty egregious. That's
Beard.
less egregious
You
than
know
seeing
me,
like
you
never
are
seeing
I
Aliens,
fit in.
never seeing The Thing, and never seeing.
Look at Beard. Beard's so
Beard was
excited.
mantising there for a minute. It was a little terrifying, actually.
I've gotten to the point where I don't watch it just so that I can watch those expressions when I say I've never seen Die Hard.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's
Note
people that don't-
note to self:
used to watch
Goat will not be on the Die Hard movie review in December. Got it.
Because we are watching that again, right?
No. Bring her on and just have her guess what happens.
What's going to happen?
Wait, didn't we
That's
have
about
a stream where you didn't get a chance to watch the movie, and that's basically what happened to you? Beard.
I suspect if I ever watch it, I had a roommate once who had never seen The Godfather, and I sat him down and made him watch it. And afterwards, I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "There are so many cultural references and jokes I understand now."
Yeah, it's true. We had to
Yeah.
watch the entire
Yeah.
series of The White Lotus so
Wait.
that my daughter and my wife could have conversations.
Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Was Beard just implying he has not seen The Godfather?
Nope.
Beard hasn't seen anything.
He
Yeah,
hasn't seen a lot of
hasn't seen a
it.
lot.
Never really
On this
surprised
show,
us when Beard hasn't seen it.
I'm 90% sure Beard does not have parents. He came from under a cabbage leaf, out in the field like 6 months.
Well,
Wait,
Beard
didn't-
grew out of his beard. First, the beard
Wasn't
was
there-
there, and he just emerged from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wasn't there a theory that Nadia was in fact a Terminator because
Yes,
she'd like never seen
Terminator
like all of
form.
these? So is Beard also a Terminator? And
Yes, he's
Beard
the
1000.
bearded
Whoa,
Terminators.
He hasn't seen it either. That's
The beard.
that's
Yeah, but Squeaky, we know.
2000
Squeaky, you're like Squeaky.
Terminator.
You've never seen a lot of movies either, Squeaky. We know that. We still like it.
God, Beard,
It's for
Those are-
clearing brush on his property.
allegedly,
Yeah.
or
who is Brush and where can we
Alleged.
find him? Is there a poster of him?
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about Thunderbolts. It's already tracking to do poorly, which is in no way surprising. So we don't need to spend a lot of time on that.
Here's the thing about that movie, real quick. That one actually piqued my interest more than all the other ones.
Oh my God!
Just because it might be so fun to watch it be so bad.
I am
It might
probably
be.
Like what they do with it, you know?
I am almost certainly going to see it, and I'm almost certainly going to see it in the theaters because it
Oh,
comes
I'm
out
not.
on my birthday, and therefore
Oh,
I don't
okay,
have,
well, that's something.
and therefore I do not have to pay for it.
smart.
The only movie that I am excited for this year, not the that's cool. I might watch that. Is the new Hunger Games book to movie that's coming out?
No, that is going to be a total disaster. Why are you doing that?
It
And
comes out
28
on my birthday. It comes out November 20th. And I love Hunger Games. And I'm going to watch it.
If you love
There
Hunger
is-
Games, if you love Hunger Games, you wouldn't watch. If
Don't
you love
see it.
Hunger Games, you wouldn't have watched the Hunger Games movie.
Wow.
There's a couple potential good movies that come
Oh
out.
no, you broke
I'm
her. You
currently
broke Mando.
reading
You broke
Sunrise on the
her.
Reaping. Okay. Don't you hate this is the only thing I'm excited for this year.
28 years later.
I am going to see the Superman movie
So am I.
but
So am I.
I'm not excited. It's just
Yeah.
I'm going to go see it. I want to be excited, but like we've talked about, we've been
And
kicking the
of
message.
the things that
There
are
is
coming
literally
out,
no
that
other
has
movie
the
I care
greatest
about, though.
potential.
28 years
That
later.
has the greatest potential.
I think 28 years later looks like it could be okay. I thought 28 weeks later was kind of 28 days later it was good. 28 weeks later was
28
but
weeks
Roman-
later
28 years
started
later, I don't
good,
know.
and then it kind of fell off in the middle towards the end.
Roman, you
Some of
don't
the
like
stuff was like
The
implausible.
lead in 28 Weeks was really good. I forget the actor's name, but yeah, he was really good.
Jeremy
He's been in
Renner?
a couple other things.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner was.
Was it Jeremy Renner? That was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lead?
yeah. He was all right.
He's-
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else then in that
It
movie.
was 28 months.
I mean, there's other people in the movie. He's the only one I
Wait.
remember by name.
Yeah.
Though.
The two movies that I think about now are Mortal Kombat 2 and what was the other one? Karate Kid Legends. So
Definitely no. I
Wait,
don't know
what was that?
is.
What was
They're
that
speaking in
second one,
tongues.
Matt? Something Legends.
Mortal
Karate Kid
Kombat 2,
Legends?
with sequel to the Mortal Kombat, which was okay, not great, but okay, and Karate Kid Legends, which is a
Oh,
sequel
Karate
to-
Kid Legends. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I definitely don't care about that. I don't like Karate Kid. I hate fucking Karate Kid.
Did you
I'm
watch
glad Pat
Cobra
Morita's
Kai?
dead.
Hey,
Did you watch
No,
Cobra Kai?
because I fucking hate Karate
Okay,
Kid.
okay, fair enough.
There's no way I would watch Karate Kid or the Cobra Kai because I hate Karate
Wait,
Kid.
could this be the Fifth Element 2.0? Is there something where?
It could be. I don't hate it as much as Fifth Element, but I really fucking don't like it. If it's on, I'm not going to watch it, and I won't go to see it, nor do I care about any of the related items.
So-
Stop it, Joker. Stop it.
You don't like
Yes,
Fifth
yes,
Element.
the
You don't like
new
Fifth
movie,
Element. You don't like
the new
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid movie looks better than any of the other stuff. Just saying.
Oh,
To me,
well, I mean that's
I
subjective.
couldn't
That's
watch
subjective.
the movie.
Yeah. Like 28 weeks
And it's
or
not
28
really
years later, I
connected
will
to any of
see
that.
movie.
Other stuff.
But I'm not going to see it in the theater.
Do
The
I recall
Karate
that-
Kid, I will never ever see in my life, ever. Not
Do I
once,
recall
not even
that
by
you
accident.
also don't like E E.T.?
I fucking hate that little gray cocksucker. Fucking can't stand him. Hate him.
Yeah, see,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you're just, telling me that I should not listen to your taste in movies when figuring my taste in movies.
No, but yeah,
Yes.
I did not care for ET either.
Oh.
Probably because when it came out, the age I was, it was so overhyped, and everybody was talking about it, and fucking Reese's Pieces was everywhere, and I was just like, oh my god, I was just no.
Oh, it's funny.
I wanted to
Spielberg,
throw myself down a flight of
Spielberg,
stairs.
Williams, Spielberg, Williams. It's a recipe for success.
Indiana Jones and the Crystal fucking Skull.
What about? Oh, that's a terrible.
It doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a good answer, Mando. That's
Before I forget, I started watching a TV show called The Bondsman with Kevin Bacon.
Oh no, hang on. Stop right there. Stop right there, sir. Because that was
It's a
actually
ripoff.
something I'm going to bring up. That
It's a
is my
ripoff.
positive for this week. Well,
It's a ripoff.
it
Politely just told you to
reminds
shut
me
the
of
fuck
both Supernatural and
Evil Dead.
Justified. It's not as good as either, though.
It reminds me of
Go ahead.
that same sort of thing. Evil Dead, Supernatural, a little bit of Justified.
It's
I think it's
Brimstone.
fun.
For the first two, it's really good. First two episodes.
Oh, I
Roman,
forgot
you need to
about
figure out how
Wednesday.
to make these articles into dark mode because my eyes hurt.
I can't do everything dark mode. I only have control over what I can control.
No, you
and I
can.
can't
There
control it.
are extensions that you can get for your web browser to make
I
things
don't
in
know
dark
what
mode.
your
No.
words mean right now.
Does
Man-
Roman look like
Mando,
his
you're
hair
trying to-
can support extensions?
Mando,
There was a
you're
show,
trying to
by the way.
aspire to a caveman.
There was a show in the 1990s on Fox 5, which like everything dies after one season, similar to this called what was it called? But a guy who came out of hell to had escaped my
Spawn and
Brimstone?
Spawn and
Brimstone.
Brimstone. Yeah,
Brimstone.
I said
We
that.
were just talking about that.
Yeah, this is basically like Brimstone, except with Kevin Bacon. And less dark.
Well, no, not tonally, but like story wise, yes. Tonally, it's kind of more like Supernatural, Evil Dead. Like
so for those of you who don't know what the fuck this is, Kevin Bacon is a bondsman, a bail bondsman. And they hunt down people who don't pay their fucking bail. But he gets killed. He goes to hell for reasons, and then he's sent back to Earth to hunt down rogue demons. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is good. I've enjoyed it, and I know it's like I said, it feeds from a lot of different things. I'd forgotten about Brimstone though. Goat, that's a good call. That was a good show. We used to watch that back in the day. I completely forgot it existed until literally 45 seconds ago when you brought it up.
It was on one of my underappreciated 90s videos.
Yeah, that was a cool show. And this,
and the guy who,
this is, and it was who was that? Do you remember his name?
He was on 30 something.
The guy who played the devil was amazing.
He played Lionel Luthor on Smallville. John, what was it called? He played Lionel Luthor on Smallville.
It's right there.
John Glover was the devil.
Glover, yes. Yeah. Because that guy, he has a knack for he can be you and evil all the same time, and it's fucking brilliant. He's a good actor. But it's too bad that show just fucking.
Well, Fox kills everything on channel on the Friday Night Death slot. That was Fox. Everything. The only thing that survived that for more than one season was X-Files and Millennium.
Everything that all the special, they didn't have the special effects capability at the time Brimstone came out, and so they ended up making everything so dark that it was really kind of hard to follow at times. And I really think that's, and they didn't have a cast, like they'd have interesting characters and then they wouldn't bring them back. Like he really needed kind of a more consistent support cast.
So what I do like about this one, supporting cast is good. My only complaint is the guy who plays Lucky played Dewey Crow in Justified.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be playing a gangster from Boston, and he is completely unbelievable in that fucking role for two reasons. One, he's Australian and he has a terrible Boston accent. Well, I guess it's three for. Two, he's kind of a diminutive guy. He's a little dude, so he's not very threatening. And three, I can only ever think of him as Dewey Crow Justified. As soon as he started talking, I'm like, why does Dewey Crow sound wrong? But all that aside, I still think the show is fun. It's on Amazon right now. The episodes are short. They're only like 30-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I like his mom, the old lady, who's only like 2 years older than him in real life because he's fucking 66. And his son's kind of a twat, but his ex-wife, I like her. And so it's cool. And the way they set up how they have him be a bondsman, I find funny. I just thought it was an amusing take on. Like I said, the show doesn't take itself too seriously. It's violent as hell, which is great, like Evil Dead. But it's for me, it's as a 30-minute slot of entertainment. It's fucking gold. What can I say? I like it. I'm not going to not like it.
The Mother, if you ever seen, there was a science fiction show called Jericho, like 15, 20, 30 years ago. So The Mother was on that show.
Good show.
Yeah. And then she's something else too.
She was also Mrs. of the Empire. Mrs. of the Empire pointed out she was the mom of Llewellyn's wife in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, what was that movie with Kiefer Sutherland and where they killed them? They were doing experiments with death.
Flatliners.
She was in Flatliners. Yeah.
I love that movie too. That was a good movie.
Yeah. She was in Flatliners.
I remember. What are we running into? We're actually in the 7th, so we have room for one more thing that we can talk about briefly. I'm gonna allow the panel to choose. Paramount upcoming stuff, Punisher special presentation, fucking Doctor Who, John Carpenter gets a star, Daredevil that no one's watching, and Netflix adolescence swaps the race killer.
Well, I want to know who's fucking Doctor Who, and then I'll make my decision.
I don't want
they're
to do that to
fucking
Doctor Who.
themselves. That's what's
So
happening
fuck
there.
Doctor Who.
Disney is.
Mr. Doctor Who is out.
Disney is.
He is fucking Doctor Who.
Doctor Who is just terrible. It's funny because they're taking their criticism and that they're doing something right. That's the way it's like, no, you guys don't. People are saying these things about your show because they fucking hate you and they hate your show. So that's Doctor Who right now.
Well, they want that.
Roman, I know you gave us our options here, but can we just each talk about what we bought at the grocery store this week? Because I think it'd be far more interesting than any of those other topics.
That
Except
is
for
fucked
maybe-
up, Beard.
Yes.
That is
Except for maybe
wildly
John
fucked
Carpenter
up.
getting his start.
Well, no, John Carpenter getting a star is actually positive. So
No, yes, actually, you're
That's
right.
actually
That is
nice
true.
closer. That's a
That
nice closer.
is positive.
So we have here Kurt Russell and Keith David reuniting as John Carpenter, the horror master himself, gets his star.
Well deserved.
And I have to ask, what the fuck took so long?
Because
This is the man that
for
gave
it.
you Halloween.
He
the
had to pay
Thing.
for it. That's why.
Oh, that's true. He probably took that long to save up the money. But seeing Kurt
I just
Russell
want to know
and
if
Keith David together.
anybody. I want to know if anybody at the event bothered to ask them. So, which of you is it?
So there was a film of his that doesn't get a lot of mention. It was actually one of the better science fiction adaptations. His first movie was called Dark Star. And the premise of Dark Star is, as humanity is colonizing the universe, they send out this ship of astronauts to other solar systems to blow up unstable planets and accidentally settle them. Or unstable suns or whatever, something like that. I don't know if there wasn't to write it. But it's one of the better science fiction adaptations ever done. You know, a little bit dark humor and all that sort of stuff. But that's his first movie. You know, I mean, he has a short filmography. Halloween, you mentioned, Assault on Precinct 13, The Fog, Escape from New York.
Oh, he
That
did
thing-
Assault on Precinct 13.
Yep, he did that. Yep.
Yeah,
Assault on Precinct 13 is fucking really good.
yeah, and not the
If
remake.
you enjoyed
either.
those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
But it was a solid movie.
Christine, he did.
I don't like Christine, so I can't say that I like that.
You know,
one, but I
Starman, Big Trouble in Little China. We did. I mean, he's not a. I'm not gonna read all of them. He's a short film out. He's just a guy who can legit go watch all of his movies over the course of a month and
yeah,
enjoy
you
them.
could.
He
Easily.
deserves the star simply for giving us the 6 demon bag. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yes.
Yo,
Exactly.
Roman, I gotta bounce.
Oh, okay. Where did you
Why
go?
is the
Where did you
bird?
go? I've
Where's
lost
she going?
her.
She's down there.
I have some.
Okay, everyone. V chips.
She has little
V chips.
humans.
V chips.
Do you want to say
V
hi?
chips.
Do you wave?
It's a child.
She has earbuds
kiddo.
in. The child can't
I have
hear you,
earbuds
Roman.
in, so she can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, well, it's the point.
It's the
Children.
It's the principle of the thing.
It's the principle of thing. So do you see? They're all waving at you. They're all saying hi.
I would wave if my hands were not full.
All right. Well, Auntie Mando's got to go. So I think
Mando.
let's see. What's tomorrow? Friday.
What do you got coming up,
This Sunday, I am going to be streaming with my friends doing some Pathfinder 1E. If you don't know what that is, that's basically like Dungeons and Dragons. So you roll around dice and we're pirates. So that's going to be fun.
Mando, make sure to put it on the Discord under the YouTube.
Yes,
Almost.
I shall do so. So yeah, that's what I've got coming up, and I'll be on Jacob's channel, and then I'll probably do some stream at some point in time next week. So also tomorrow, this one is 5.
Wow.
Happy birthday!
They're saying happy birthday. She says thank you. All right.
Aw.
Mando could take her headphones out. We could sing.
No, just man,
I don't want to traumatize them. We don't want to.
chance.
We don't want to traumatize
Little
the child.
Happy
That was it. That was
birthday.
it.
Mando, just go. Go right now. Go.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Good
Bye,
night.
Mando. Aw.
Nice.
and if Mando stole a child, we need to look at all the milk boxes in her region of the country right now, find out who that kid is, and get her home.
I'm checking my phone for Amber Alerts right now.
So anyway, that is as good a time as any to wrap up. We covered a lot of topics. We didn't even get to them all tonight because some of them are so-so. If we have more time, the Daredevil thing I think is interesting. It's okay. It's not a terrible show. It's not a great show. It's okay.
It could be amazing, and nobody would be watching because everybody's numb to it.
Because it's on Disney Plus. Disney has done it to themselves.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunate because there are good performances in it. I think Charlie Cox and
Vincent,
the guy who plays Kingpin,
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio is doing a
both of those guys
fantastic
are
job.
great. They're great.
And Michael, the fat guy in Sopranos, dead guy, lead guy,
Gandolfini.
Sopranos. Gandolfini,
James Gandolfini.
Michael Gandolfini. It plays a prominent role in the series as well, and he's actually doing a good job too. So it's just unfortunate no one's watching it, but it is what it is. Disney did that to themselves, and that's going to be the case with anything that comes on Disney. It could be fantastic, or season 2 is coming up. Who's going to watch it? Probably just me by myself, and I'm not going to review it. I may mention it in passing, and that's about it. But anyway, we covered a bunch of stuff tonight. We had a lot of good spirited discussions tonight. This was great. That's why we do these shows. It's fun to have those discussions and get everybody's take on the why and what's and who's of a thing. Otherwise it's an echo chamber, and that's only so much fun to do. So on that note, my friends, and our fantastic chat, thank you for hanging out with us. You guys bring a lot. And for our friends, both on YouTube and on Twitter, thank you for being X. For you young people, thanks for being with us. We're going to go around the horn now and talk about what we have coming up. But I will say just right now, this show, Roman of the Empire, will not be on next week, as I will be hanging out with many of these good folks in Las Vegas for the Nerdrotic FNT meetup, and it is going to be fucking glorious. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm jealous.
Yes, I'm going to hang out with
Joker
you,
voice
Joker.
meetup. Roman, I know what you're talking about. It's the Joker voice meetup.
I was unaware of that. I did not get that memo.
So you're not a true Joker voice fan. I see how it is.
It's understated.
Shield Wall, what do you have coming up, my friend? And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Right. So I will be traveling next week, and I will be in Vegas. So we'll see how it goes. The whole party bus thing, yeah, and all that. But so I won't be doing any shows next week, and then I should be recovered if I'm not arrested or dead or whatever. To do Jacob's show on Tuesday of next week. So and I'll have to get with him to figure out what we're doing. I know I'm a bad guest on that show because I never know what we got coming up.
I haven't put up stuff for the next month.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so he's a bad host because he doesn't know what's coming up either.
He's got a lot going on. Oh yeah, we also might want to throw that thing in the chat here before we roll out.
Oh, that's a good idea. I will throw it up there right now.
But but thanks for being on. This is a great discussion. It was great having Eclectic Goat on. And
with Roman,
exactly. Yep. So and the universe didn't split in half or implode, so not yet anyway.
Not yet. It could be happening right now.
Right. So we'll see. And it's great being on with everybody. Great memes for Jacob.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Everyone had a lot of good points, and as always, Matt with the details on stuff is always great. So happy to be here. Thanks for
right on. Joker voice. Looking forward to seeing you next week for more than 10 minutes. Hopefully sober. Me, not him. What do you got coming up, my friend?
Well, next week is one of the busiest weeks of the professional wrestling world. It is everything leading up to WrestleMania. Matter of fact, the WWE over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday has 5 major shows going on. They've also got their own version of their own Comic-Con going on. That starts next Thursday. Programming note: my show Wednesday night is overbooked. We'll be going at a special time this next week. It'll be 5 p.m. Pacific time, not the normal 7 p.m. because Bradley, the Duke Devil 95, is in town, and we'll be going after the show, going out to hang out with Dermy Ermy, Static 2020, going out to eat and stuff, and just kind of having a get together. But yeah, busy week for me next week.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. I'm looking forward to it. Beard of Liberty and his hostages who cannot hear because they have tape over their ears and they are in a basement. What's going on? What do you have coming up?
Allegedly.
No, not tape. Not tape.
Let's see.
Thermal bandages, okay, are over their ears.
Oh. So maybe I'll bring that picture up again, Jacob. Don't tempt me. Let's see here. After the weekend, recently had JT's top 5, I think, like movie posters or VHS covers, and we're going to be having one of my favorite coming up here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that after the weekend. Tuesdays you can find me with Jacob over on his channel. Thursdays here, and I'm getting a little bit more settled into a new routine, so I'm hoping to get back into streaming my channel at least a little bit here and there. Maybe get the mouse in there occasionally because her reactions are fantastic, especially when it comes to playing 7 Days to Die with Zombies.
As opposed to you being in there.
Moving on. I can make my own reactions. Thank you very much, Joe.
Squeaka. Jacob Ironside. Also, again, Jacob has to move. It is expensive. It was unexpected, and he needs some help. So this audience, please, if you can, if you can't donate, share it. That way, maybe somebody else can. He's
yes,
a good man, he needs our help.
Go check out the link.
Read the news.
He's a good guy.
So, Jacob, what do you have coming up next week, young sir?
Yeah. Thanks for that, Roman. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody that's helped so far, and I'm just really thankful for everybody's help. But yeah, anyways, Tuesday will be Phase 9, the Dominion Wars, and we'll be going over episode of Season 4, Episode 1, The Way of the Warrior, first episode with Worf in it, and then Episode 10, Homefront of Season 4 also.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man,
I'm going to miss that. Well, have a good stream for that one because that's Worf showing up is a good deal.
Don't
that
worry,
was
we'll
a game
talk bad about plenty of Shield Wall.
Just remember that I find Deep Space Nine to be the least of the original Star Trek series. So, Mats, what do you have coming up?
Beyond Wednesday night, overbooked with JV, Joker Royce, Left Eye, and Brad. We'll lead to WrestleMania. What do we got on this show next week, Roman?
Nothing.
Oh, that's right. So this is a blank spot next week.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah. This weekend, a video will drop on the questioners where we subject ourselves to torture and review the Wheel of Crime episode 6.
Oh man, I don't know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, in a sense, that is why I have a YouTube channel, because of the Wheel of Crime. I watched the first episode, was like, am I the only one that thinks this is bad, as we often said?
Right.
And found a whole community with Zax and Salty and Roman and everyone, and who all think this stuff is horrible. And so I keep saying this every week, and I just got to get back on track with my own channel. My Friday Fandemonium show, maybe this Friday. Since every time I get to the Friday and think I want to do it, I find out I'm not feeling too good. But once I get back on track with it, I'll get back on track with it. And I'm going to try to start dropping one video a week, even if it's a short one, just get back to the routine.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I hope you're feeling better.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, it's just a slow build to recover from all that crap I went through. So.
Yep, and
it is.
that was not a small amount of things. Our good friend, and I'm so happy we finally actually got to do this together. Eclectic Goats, what do you have coming up? And thank you for being with us, and thank you for tolerating us this week. There's a lot to tolerate.
I mean, my bucket list is now complete. So
R.I.P.
I don't know what's wrong with your bucket list, but apparently a lot.
I told Roman that my my streaming bucket list had been checked off, except for being on his show, and the implication was on his show with him here.
Yeah, you've been here twice before, but
Yeah.
She has. She's been here 2 times before. She's a
And you're
3-time guest.
And he
Who
was
wants
supposed to
actually
be
to
on Sammy's show, which I co-host, and wasn't able to make it. So
No, I was on Sammy's show. I was actually on Sammy's once. A lot of it's just timing, man. For this show,
Or maybe-
it's disaster life stuff. For anything other than this show, it's usually a timing issue that just doesn't work for me. I'm lucky if I can get one extra show in a week. That's kind of my
He's just
limit.
old and crotchety. Don't listen to him.
No, I don't
mean,
want to get
when he
fucking
was-
divorced. That's mostly it. I don't want to get fucking divorced.
I've had 2 of them. They're
I
fine.
get one show in a week that's mine
worth it.
and maybe another, and then that's pretty much it. So
when
maybe
he was
another.
when he was yelling about ET, I did distinctly hear "Get off my lawn."
Yeah.
Little great bastard. So what else do you have coming up though, Goat? I know you got plans.
So for the
Thanks.
next couple of weeks, things are going to be kind of normal. I co-host with Sammy on Sundays. I have usually one show or another on Monday, and then I have Slice and Dice on Wednesdays. At the end of the month, I am actually going to be rolling my streaming back. After some discussion, I finally realized that my husband working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and then coming home to discover that I was already on the internet until after he went to bed was a little rough. So I thought that was not fair. So I am going to be stepping down as Sammy's co-host. My author interviews are going to go to being recorded. And once we are done with Carnival, we're not going to renew. Much to Eraserhead's disappointment, we are not going to be renewing shows you've never seen. Slice and Dice will remain. It's the one that people seem to like the best. And despite its tiny niche, it is the one that I enjoy the most because I'm discovering all sorts of cool games that I've never heard of before. If anybody likes board games or role-playing games, I'm always looking for panelists, so please hit me up. And to make up for some of that, I did start a Discord server. People kind of were interested in being in touch with the creators that I have on after the shows, so I've started a Discord so that the creators and the audience can kind of
That's a really good idea.
talk about how their creations are going and new creations that are coming up, and people can ask questions about games that are being made or books that are being written or music that's being put out. And I will, of course, continue occasionally doing guest stuff. And I am still plugging away at my history of zombie movies. So.
Oh, right on. Right on. Where are you? Where are you in your history of zombies, Goat?
Well, let's see. We have gone through All of Us Are Dead. We have gone through White Zombie. I have been informed I have to find a copy of a movie called Fido, which is apparently about a zombie dog.
Yeah.
I have not yet. I've not successfully.
It's
found
actually not. It's not about a zombie dog.
Oh well, maybe I misunderstood the.
No. The zombie becomes the pet, and they name him Fido.
Oh, well, I mean, sort of a zombie dog then.
The fact that I know that is alarming, because that's an obscure one. That is definitely from out of the what the fuck are you talking about movie selection.
No.
Yeah, my goal
have
for this
questions.
video is not just going to be like the good classic zombie movies. It is also going to include the worst of the zombie movies and the most ridiculous of the zombie movies.
There you go.
Because zombie movies.
I love zombies. That's my favorite
Yep.
monster genre of
I-
film. So
My goal is to have it out for 28 years later. I am not going to try and compete with all the bigger channels who are going to review it. So I am just going to put out my history of zombie
Do it.
movies.
Compete.
Are you going to review the legendary Zombies versus Strippers?
I'm sorry, say again?
Are you going to review the legendary Zombies versus Strippers from about 12 years ago?
I mean, I can certainly add it to the list.
Yes,
what
I
about
think.
Frankenhooker? Is Frankenhooker is she a zombie or is she not a zombie?
She's a flesh golem. That's different.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Flesh Golem. I forgot Flesh Golem. That's what Frank. Okay. So, well,
Yeah, I mean,
again,
I was really tempted to throw in, lesbian vampire killers, but then I was like, nah, that doesn't
yeah.
really. Maybe I'll do Maybe I'll do a vampire. Joker's voices. There's lesbian vampire.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
I have never figured
Oh.
out if it's supposed to be people who kill only lesbian vampires, or if it's supposed to be.
Vampires that only kill lesbians. Right.
It's a lot
I've
of
seen
work.
it.
It's a lot of work.
I've seen it like 3 times. It's actually quite funny. It is the-
Looking what to look up for on Tubi.
It is the only thing that what is that horrible English comedians fat guy
That
came to the
sounds
United
horrendous.
States. Everybody hates him.
James Corden.
Yeah, it is the only thing I've ever seen him in that was actually funny. Not because of him. He just happens to be in it. But
Interesting. And on that note, peculiar as it is, we are going to depart for the evening. Again, thank you for hanging out with us. This was a fun discussion tonight. I very much enjoyed it. We are not going to be here next week. We're going to be off doing Vegas shit.
I'm super jealous. There's my new bucket list. I want to get popular enough to get invited to the Vegas thing.
Instead, you have this.
It's not an invite. You just kind of show up.
Just kind of show up.
That's true. We just go.
Yeah, that's how Vegas works. You just show up.
Yeah, it's so everybody's description for their channels and their X and all their whatnot is in the description of the show. Please check out all that stuff. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and please, if you can, donate to our good friend Jacob to help him get his move done.
Yes,
that's a
the
big
link
deal.
to his GoFundMe is in the description of this video.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's many times in the chat, but it's
Take
in the
a look.
description, which is always there. So please, please check that out. And so thank you to all of you. And we'll see you not next week, unless we're on the news, but the week after that. So until then, be kind.
Toodle.